I remember there was a time when we was kings and queens, prophets and people. I think our people need and give them understanding of what's going on.
And rise up, open eyes up, looking in the mirror, it gets no selling out they soul for this mean green cream. Africans, they're soulless.
Ready? Shalom, brothers and sisters.
Shalom.
Shalom to everybody online. Welcome to Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. I'm Priest Quatazad. Excuse me. Our location is 8524 South. Saturday Sabbath class from 10 to 12, but that'll be canceled until September. Okay. If you're in the San Antonio area, we have a school at 4219 78217. We also have Northwest 281-707-2737. You can contact Priest Tahawam at 832-941-2443. And you can text me at 303-557-8979 during class. You can also email us at hiddentruth12 at gmail.com. It's hiddentruth, the number 12 at gmail.com. If you're in need of a garment, you can hit us up on Facebook under Israel Wear. Okay, the sisters, they work on garments every month, so you can get your orders in for that. Armbands, headbands, fringe pants, fringe shirts, tunics. Just let them know what you want, and they can get it done for you. They are great. That's Facebook at Israel Wear. They also are doing our Passover garments, and they're collecting money monthly for that. So get your money in if you want a Passover garment. Did you guys already finish collecting the 60 from everybody? Yeah? Okay. They're collecting 60 for the Brothers Unity pants. So you get that in ASAP if you haven't already. Okay? Donations. Any form of contribution is welcome. We appreciate it. If you have donated, whatever you can send is welcome. It was needed, so keep sending things to us or donating, whatever you can. Clothes, cars, pens, papers, books, dictionaries. The older the better. It all helps. If you want to give any monetary donation, we have a Wells Fargo bank account under Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge, and that number is 101-580-6167. Okay, so that's for any monetary donations. Like I said, we definitely appreciate all who has given. It goes a long way. It goes a long way. So keep doing that. Keep donating. It's for the benefit of our people. Anything that's going to help further the truth and get the truth spread across the four corners of the earth, it's going to help. Okay? So that looks like that's that for the announcements. We will wait for everybody to log on. Oh, I missed one part. For our live classes, you can log on to Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge on YouTube. For our old classes, you can log on to Kazakia, ISB-HBK. For our kids classes, we have ISB-HBK Kids. Okay, for the old recorded classes. And then we have our cable show, which comes on live every Saturday at 8:30 on Comcast local channel 17, or you can stream it live on hmstv.org. Okay, so look out for that. In the meantime, we'll let everybody log in, let the feed catch up. While they do that, does anybody have questions in the class? Any questions in the classroom? Nada tostada. How y'all feeling?
Wow.
I didn't hear everybody.
Wow.
Y'all good?
Good.
Happy it's Friday?
Yes.
Sabbath?
Done.
Are y'all just happy y'all off work?
Yes, that part.
Get that weekend off, man. Whoever ain't got to work weekends, I know y'all happy. Get that weekend off. Those 2 days are important, man. It's not enough though. It's not enough to recover for the week.
I have a question.
What's that, Shawashima?
For the 12 tribes, I was helping you to do the flags, and we were looking at like the Caribbean flags. There's Belize, is that how you say it?
Belize, yeah.
Barbados, Trinidad. I saw another one that has like stars on the flag. That's all part of it, right?
That's all part of the Caribbean?
Of
Benjamin? Like Trinidad?
I know Trinidad and Barbados.
And Barbados?
I wasn't sure about the Belize.
Yeah, Belize would be, it's weird, even though Belize is like right under Mexico and it's not an island, it's still considered the tribe of Benjamin.
So every country in America and in Central and South is considered Israel?
Yeah.
Because I don't see Israel, Brazil.
Brazil?
Brazil is what?
Oh, well, it would be from, so if you look at the map,
Naphtali, right?
where we at? Argentina to Chile, Brazil is up here. What is Brazil? Brazil is, Guatemala to Panama.
Brazil is like on the side.
Yeah, it's on the side.
And then all of like Asher is all on this side.
On this side.
So what's Brazil?
Brazil is, I know this. Is it Asher, Colombia, to Uruguay? Is it? Because Colombia's up here, Uruguay goes down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to get technical, going according to the
transatlantic slave trade route, it's more than likely Judah.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
A lot of them.
They resemble.
Yeah.
They resemble.
We actually went over that in the in one of the summits.
Yeah.
The brother Parza, he was breaking it down that there's more of them, more Judites that speak Spanish or Portuguese there than anywhere. But yeah, it would be Asher.
Okay.
So that whole South and Central America is covered.
I was asking because, I've studied history in my country. We come from the Indians, like we're Indians and like our natives. But our Indians don't look like the same Indians from Brazil. Like the Incas.
Right.
Brazil is not Incas. Their Indians are different.
Well, you said the Brazil ones?
Yeah.
The Brazilian Indians.
Yeah, are they Incas too? I don't know if you guys studied all that history from them. Cause like all the like Ecuador, Colombia, Uruguay, all those countries, they're Incas, all those Indians. And like in Central America, they're Mayans, but what's
Right.
Brazil?
Well, Brazil is a lot of Judah.
Just talking about the people who lived before.
Oh, the people that are the ones. Oh, okay. That one I don't know.
So I was trying to figure out what tribe they are. But you're saying Asher, right?
I gotta look more into that, but yeah.
So Colombia.
You say Asher based off the
We say Asher based off the mostly based off the scriptures, because it talks about Asher, how they're going to yield royal dainties, right? So when you go through all those countries that we ascribe to Asher, like even if you deal with Colombia, where the coca leaf rolls down there, that coffee, you deal with Brazil, you had everything from the Brazil nuts to the same Coke, the coffee, the sugar cane, all that stuff is all through there. It's just good for growing those type of crops that every nation tries to get in on, So that's why when you read about Asher, I think it's in Genesis 49, he talks about how they would yield royal dainties. I mean, they would give up things that people of royalty would want to get their hands on. And so when you go into the like Renaissance and stuff, because I know you've been watching a lot of those movies and things, right? When you watch like Elizabeth, you watch the movie Elizabeth, he was going down to Central and South America, and he was pulling those things and bringing them over to the kings and the queens over there, because they hadn't known about that over there in Europe, right? So he's bringing them potatoes, he was bringing them coffee, he was bringing them tobacco and things like that by going to those countries. And they were yielding royal dainties. They were yielding the things that only royalty could get their hands on for the Europeans.
That makes sense, because even in America, they import like the bananas from Ecuador and the coffee from Colombia.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even when you look at the map, I'm looking at the map of South America. It says from Colombia to Uruguay, right? You got Colombia, which is up here. Uruguay is down here. So everything
everything in
across,
between.
everything in between. So you got all those other countries, and then you have Argentina and Chile, which are right next to each other, which would be Valley. But yeah, but Belize is the tricky one because Belize is considered Benjamin.
What are Seminole Indians?
Seminole Indians? They're the
The Seminole Indians are the tribe of Reuben. They're gonna be the original inhabitants of like Florida, South Carolina, Florida, and Louisiana and stuff like that. But they're the what you call the 5 civilized nations. So you got the Choctaw, Chickasaw, Blackfoot, Cherokee, and there's another one that always leaves my brain. I'd have to get it at the bottom of the bag. It's the Native Americans. It gives you the 5. They call them the 5 civilized nations.
So they live mostly in America.
Yeah, but all those nations combined. Oh, the Seminoles. That was the 5th one. But they all combined. They call them Seminole Indians.
But there's a difference between them and North American Indians.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Because when you go into the regular like North American Indians and stuff, they're gonna be more people that'll be like you. They look more like you. But when you go into those 5 civilized nations, they're gonna be people that look like us. You understand, with the froze and all that stuff. So that's where you go into the history of it, like Osceola and his general that was with him, and they've been fighting. They never signed a peace treaty with America.
Right.
And where it tells you there the excellency of dignity in the scriptures in Genesis 49, right? And Deuteronomy 33. It tells you there the excellency of dignity, right? That's because while the other ones were running around in loincloths and little flaps covering their genitals, running around hunting buffalo, pulling the hearts out and eating it, right? These guys were still fully clothed with their fringes on, with their mitris on.
Right.
All right. So you see that. If you ever seen that picture of the Trail of Tears, and they're leading them, and they got Reuben, or the Seminole Indians. They got them basically all decked out, mitri, nice clothes, everything. Doing the Trail of Tears though. See that? So it said they will be the excellency of dignity. You're asking about each tribe or what?
No. I was trying to help you to find flags to make the 12 tribes, and we're just trying to so you recognize what we call ourselves now.
All right.
But I saw a bunch of flags that I've never seen before, and I didn't know Belize was part of it. If Brazil ever, I didn't know. I thought Brazil was Israel, but I never was for sure. And then I wonder what was the West Indies between the Seminole Indians, North American Indians, and
West Indians.
And exactly where Brazil falls.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, go to was it Genesis 49?
Yeah, Belize is in there. They're Benjamin.
Benjamin, right? And so it's like
Yeah, but even
Barbados, Trinidad.
Yeah, even though Belize is in a weird location,
Yeah.
it's part of Central America,
Yeah.
but they're considered Benjamin.
You can go 49 verse 1 through 3.
Gustavo, brothers are asking when you're going to be at Trinidad, so they can all be there.
They ready.
Hey, we're working on the 8th. We just got 8 the tickets. Y'all got the money to us, so we appreciate that. But we just got to do what we got to do on our end. So we're getting the tickets, and when we need to get together here, then we'll be headed out. We're trying to find at least whether the least expensive tickets or the best deal we can get, and get down there. But we're shooting for the 8th through the 26th. All right.
Another quick question. They're asking if there will still be class while you guys are out there. Here.
Come. Yes, there will be class while the brothers are gone. There still will be class here. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Saturday, Sabbath, yes. Train don't stop.
Where's the question number?
No, we're trying.
What's that?
You see, you're going to, what the name say, Trinidad?
Yeah, Trinidad.
Now, what can you tell me what's, if, Michael, see, what is the main reason you're going to Trinidad?
Well, brothers are going down.
The word,
Yeah, brothers are basically going down there to teach.
teach.
Yeah.
But, I had a friend that she came from there. I met her in 2004. And she said that she didn't know no better then, but now she knows because they did a lot of things, wrong things that she didn't know. So I thought that.
Like wrong things like what? What does she mean?
Well, she mean like getting even with people doing bad, evil things.
Oh, okay.
And stuff like that. She said when she was out there, she said she didn't know no better, but now she knows now.
Oh, okay.
So I thought maybe you need to sway the word.
Yeah. That's what it's about. It's about going and teaching who needs to be taught. So,
Yeah.
you know, we're gonna go down there, have class, things like that. See who's serious, and go from there. Just like we did with Baton Rouge, right? Went out there and tried to get it started. So.
Yeah, I mean, basically, we got a lot of dedicated brothers and sisters. You know, as opposed to some of the other places we've been where people weren't so dedicated. But you know, these cats put up half of the money we needed to get down there. Well, a little more than half. You know, we needed like $2,200 just to get the tickets to get down there, and they went ahead and floated us like $1,200 to get us down there. So they're showing their dedication. They're down there printing out the flyers, passing them out already. They've got the things we're gonna need if we're gonna street teach and everything like that. So they've been constantly hitting us up around the clock for like 4 months to get us down there. So they're showing their dedication. So we're gonna show our part, you know, and we're gonna go ahead and show up and try to, you know, get them trained up, get those brothers that are down there trained up to be able to deliver that word professionally, know who to give that to, and who to just yell it at and let them go, you know. But we want to make sure that we're doing our part since they did theirs. We're dealing with that the Reuben thing though.
Yes.
Okay, so go to Genesis 49. We're gonna read verse 1 through 3.
Genesis chapter 49, verse 1. And Jacob called unto his sons, and said, Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. Gather yourselves together, and hear ye, sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father. Verse 3.
So this is Jacob. He got his 12 sons together. He's telling them, listen, these are going to be your characteristics in the last days. Right? Okay? So he's showing them, like, not their individual, like, every single person characteristics, but he was showing them their stereotypical characteristics in the last days. All right?
So basically, no matter where they were, you'd be able to recognize these people, right?
There you go. There you go. All right, so read that.
Verse 3. Reuben, thou art my firstborn.
All right, so Reuben is his firstborn son. All right, technically the one that should be the top of the heap, the main brother, the one that should be getting all the inheritance and all the blessing. But he messed up. When you read about Reuben, he went and tried to he went and slept with one of his father's wives. Mm-hmm. All right, so that became kind of a curse unto him. Well, read that.
My might and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity.
Right. So they said he's my might and my strength, right? And he said the excellency of dignity. So I'm going in here. I'm trying to find this. I'm gonna hold that. That's page 297. Trying to find this picture of. Yeah, here we go. So he said the excellency of dignity. Now, when you look at this, and they're leading these guys along the Trail of Tears. Now up in the front, you see your typical look for a Native American. Up in the front right here, you see, you know, in the main center, and then right here in the right, you see what more than likely they usually try to hide in the background, which was the dark-skinned brother with the mitre on, the jewelry on, fully clothed. Same thing here in the front. Brown-skinned brother, little straighter hair with the jewelry on, fully clothed, got his fringes. You see that? So y'all can pass, y'all can check that out after I read. Well, go ahead, pass that around, and then when it comes back up, we'll read the rest of this. We'll go into these certain excerpts I got out of there, but that's a book called The Native Americans. So in 49, he said, Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength. And when you look at these, when you read about these guys, Osceola and Abouaki, that was the two generals that were over the Seminole Indians in Florida. They never signed a peace treaty with America. To this day, they're still technically at war with America. War is still declared on them. All right? They never signed a peace treaty. Andrew Jackson tried to trick them into doing it, and when he locked up Osceola ended up dying in prison. If I haven't mixed up the two stories, but yeah, he ended up dying in prison just like Geronimo and other members. But they never signed any peace treaty.
That's why Kazakh be going so hard. He had war.
Y'all see that? But you see, they're not like when you look at the other pages, even in that book, they show Gad, and they just got a little flap covering their nuts, right? Or they didn't have no shirts, no pants, no nothing. These guys were clothed head to toe, all right, with the mitres on, the same thing that was prescribed to the priests in the Bible, with the fringes, with the ribbon of blue, the same thing that was prescribed to all Israel in the Bible, all right.
God.
And that's just the more famous picture, the more famous painting of the tribe of Reuben, or as you know, the Seminole Indians. I'm gonna read these two out of here. Go to Genesis 33 though. Well, read on, verse 3.
And the excellency of power.
Right, the excellency of power. Right. Go ahead.
Unstable as water, thou shalt not excel.
So they said the excellency of power. So when you read about Osceola and I think I'm saying his name right, Abouaki or Abenaki, when you read about these two generals, man, they were so powerful that every time the American government would send troops down there, they would get their ass whooped. You understand? When they would try to send slaves in there to infiltrate, they would try to send black slaves in there to try to infiltrate. They would welcome those slaves in. They spoke the same language, and they would make them guys chiefs. Mm-hmm. You understand? And it wasn't for a long time that the American government finally got some of the sellouts among them to start treating them like they were slaves and servants, and otherwise they were going to try to come in with the full force and just decimate everyone. But read on.
Thou shalt not excel because thou wentest up to thy father's bed.
Right, so it says thou shalt not excel. Alright? So when you read about the tribe of Reuben, when you read about who they are now, what we call the Seminole Indians, it says some Cherokees, Creeks, and Choctaws, like the Seminoles, all these were counted as Seminoles. All right, they were all called the 5 civilized nations, and they all became known as Seminole Indians. So Cherokee, Creek, Choctaw, and Seminole would survive in their old homelands. But for most, the treaties meant a long trek west to Indian territory. Some went voluntarily, others went under armed escort. Now you notice how they said they had to go into Indian territory. So they didn't count them as Indians. Y'all see that? They called them the 5 civilized nations, while they called the rest savages, Indians. Y'all see that? So they was calling Gad savages, but they was calling these ones the 5 civilized nations. So now they were saying they were going to march them off into Indian territory. So they're showing you that they're not the same, even according to history. All right? They're not the same as the North American Indians, which would be the tribe of Gad. Some went voluntarily, others went under armed escort. Virtually all went with a deep sadness, and virtually all suffered, for the journeys were grim. In 1831 to 32, the Choctaws, without blankets, shoes, or winter clothes, traveled through one of the worst winters the South had ever seen. American incompetence, more than malice, left them sick, hungry, and exhausted. In 1836 to 37, the Hilis Hayas, or medicine men of the Creeks, extinguished the sacred fires in the town squares. They preserved the ashes and flints used by the fire makers, wrapping these and other sacred objects in deerskin bundles that they strapped to their backs, and without a word began the procession westward. American troops conducted about 20,000 Creeks west, and white settlers gathered en route to watch this exodus of a forlorn nation that they had reduced to misery. The Cherokees endured the most deadly migration. Like the Creeks, the Cherokees departed late, and like the Creeks, they had offered resistance, albeit in the courtroom. So they went to court with it. They were going to law with it. You understand? So it's like he said, the excellency of dignity. They was up, standing upright, being in that courtroom, being dignified in their war, right? Now they suffered and died in even greater numbers. How many died remains unclear even now. The most careful estimates guess that of the 16,000 who set out, 2,000 died during the 1838 journey itself. But losses continued to mount during the following years as epidemics ravaged the weakened survivors. By the highest estimate, a quarter or even more of the Cherokees died in the wake of removal. So it goes right along where it says, "You shall not excel." They were fighting. They couldn't be beat in war, but they still couldn't excel. They tried to do it in the courtroom, and they still couldn't excel. Y'all see that? Even now, again, they have not technically been declared at peace with America, but they can't excel. They're not getting no casinos. They're not getting no no treaties, no lands, no nothing like that. They're still being treated like they're garbage. You understand? So you got to see how these scriptures echo the same things we're reading in history. All right. So where you at in the scripture?
Genesis chapter 49, verse 4. Unstable as water, thou shalt not excel.
So again, unstable as water. They moved them from Florida, then they moved them to the west, and they just kept moving them all around. And then what happened? They was dying off during that, what they call the Trail of Tears. All right? Go ahead.
Because thou wentest up to thy father's bed.
So why did he do that?
Because thou wentest up into thy father's bed.
Right, because they went to their father's bed, because they went and dealt with their father, one of their father's wives. All right, that's what the man Reuben had done. Go ahead.
Then defilest thou it.
Right.
He went up to my couch.
So that's it?
Gone.
All right, go to Deuteronomy 33. Now I'm going to read something out of here. Go to the part where it talks about Reuben in Deuteronomy 33. And we're going to go to this part right here, and this is page 297. And just to show you that we're the same Israel, Seminole Indians. That's why you got a lot of people like so-called Negroes that be like, oh, I'm Cherokee, or I got Blackfoot in my family, or I got Creek, or I got this in my family. Because why? These were all these dark-skinned people that you call today a lot of nations. Because remember, a lot of us got sold into South America, Brazil first, because that's the first port from the west coast of Africa, then up into the Central Central and South America and the islands, and then up into like New York and California and stuff. So that was the transatlantic slave trade triangle. Question?
So the 5 civilized nations are Reuben? Tribe of Reuben?
Yeah, they would be the biblical tribe of Reuben.
Okay, and then the rest of them, like the Incas, Mayas, are Gad?
No. The Incas, Maya, those will be under Issachar. Okay. Yeah, everything south from like Central and South America, the Incas, Mayas, Toltec, and Aztecs and stuff like that, those will be considered Issachar. Issachar, Zebulon, Asher, and on down.
So what are the ones that are Gad?
The one that will be where you're dealing with like the Iroquois, the the ones in the north, the Nez Perce, the Navajo. There you go. Those famous ones you always hear about, right? Those will be the what you call the tribe of Gad. All right, the Mohawk. I got a whole binder with like, and then there's a book in here called the 500 Nations. 500 Nations meaning there's like 500 different Indian tribes, Native American tribes, but they all fall under the tribe of Gad. All right.
What was the fifth one here? Is it Creek, Cherokee, Chickasaw, Seminole?
Choctaw, Chickasaw.
Oh, Chickasaw. Okay.
Yeah, here we go for the Choctaw, Chickasaw, Cherokee, and Creek. Choctaw, Chickasaw, Cherokee, Creek, and then Seminole Indians.
Right.
But they eventually end up calling them all Seminole Indians. All right. But check this out. It said this is page 297. It says the Seminoles mounted a far more effective resistance. Fraud and intimidation had produced the Treaty of Payne's Landing in 1832, and most Seminoles rejected it. But for the United States, it served as a pretense for removal. So they had all rejected the treaty, but the Americans are like, well, so what? We wrote it, so that means you guys gotta go. Like, even though y'all didn't sign it. Right. The Seminoles did not possess prime cotton lands, but for years, black slaves had fled to them, living in separate villages under the protection of Seminole chiefs. They spoke the same language as the Seminoles. Now, how do you get that? They're coming over on cargo slave ships in the 1600s, right? Run into a tribe that been here before the white man was even in this country. And they speak the same language? What language was that, right? It said they shared the same language. They shared their customs.
Their customs.
Y'all see that?
Gone.
How you get that? Okay, you run into a tribe that's 4,000 or 5,000 miles away from you, from where you originate from. You come all the way over the ocean, and boom, they celebrating your same customs. They speaking your same language.
They killing lamb for the Passover.
Right.
What the hell's going on?
Exactly. It says, and to some extent, they intermarried. The Americans initially not only demanded Seminole land, they demanded the right to retrieve escaped slaves. So just showing you that, we came over here, we spoke the same language as them. Y'all see that?
Gone.
So these are the things that show you these were united people with us. All right. So from Judah down to when you're dealing down with all the way down to Reuben, you're getting the same nation of people. You're getting the same language, the same customs. All right. But did you read that in Deuteronomy 33?
Deuteronomy chapter 33. Verse 6?
Mm-hmm.
Verse 6.
Talks about Reuben, right?
Let Reuben live and not die, and let not his men be few.
See that? Let Reuben live and not die, and let not his men be few. They never signed that peace treaty. They never died out as a nation. Y'all see that? You got some Native American tribes that are extinct. We're talking about like in I'm looking for this other guy. His name is Ishi, or basically what you would say it in, which is how you would say it in the modern Hebrew or the Assyrian Hebrew. But we said Ayash in Hebrew, which was man. And coincidentally, Ishi, the last man of his tribe that they found, in his language, Ishi means man. I was looking for that in here too. But yeah, when you go through this, it shows you a lot of how you know that this tribe, Reuben, was Native Americans, man. You got Osceola and what was this? Yeah, I was trying to see if they gave the name of that other great chief that was with Osceola. I'll find him, but read that.
It goes into Judah after that.
Oh, okay. All right. So read that again.
Deuteronomy chapter 33 and verse 6. Let Reuben live and not die, and let not his men be few.
Right. See that? So that's why I said let not his men be few, because now you got a lot of what we would think is Judah off site. You find out they will be of the tribe of Reuben. You know, see that? And now you got a lot of these cats that's run around. You know, again, you're looking at people here in America, and you looking at the so-called Negro, and you like, damn, okay, he's probably he's Judah, he's Judah. Then go through their lineage and find out, oh damn, they Reuben. We thought they was all gone. We thought they was all down in Florida. No, they everywhere. Y'all see that? Disguised as what you think is a Negro. Can't find this guy Ishi, man. Where's he at? Let's go to the index real quick. This is one of those few books that I hadn't started writing everything in the front of the book where it was, so you gotta bear with me. 374, 375. Yeah, here we go. Yahi, the Yahi language. Yahi. Or, as you would say that, if you were pronouncing it in Hebrew, Yah. Would be like my Yahweh. His name is Ishi, and it's man. It said, never learning the real name, they dubbed him Ishi, or man, in his native language. So his native language is Yahi, right? And in his native language, Ishi means man. All right? And in Hebrew, it's Ayash. But in this day and age, you would spell it the same way, I-S-H-I. That's the trip, huh? Yeah, he was the last of the Yahi tribe, the last surviving member of the Yahi tribe. So these are all people, you know, you can look up, you can check them out, see, and look in your history books and find out that these people were all our people. Was that it on that?
Gone.
Right. We got any other questions?
Yes, there's one online.
Did that help answer the one you were talking about?
Kind of did.
All right, come on.
This brother's asking, is dreadlocks part of our heritage? And is long hair a sin for men? Please explain.
1 Corinthians 11. So he said, is dreadlocks in our heritage?
Yes. And is long hair for men a sin?
You mean a Song of Solomon? I'll tell you this, the white man never invented anything. right? Anything. So if you see them running around with dreadlocks and everything like that, that more than likely just has to do with the fact they don't know how to comb their hair, bathe themselves. They didn't know how to do any of that until about the 13 to 1600s. All right, when we started teaching them those things. Now, if you want to do some research, you can look up a group of people called the Agori Sadhus in India. And they are generally where the tribe of Benjamin, the so-called Jamaicans, and most of what they call the West Indies. They call it the West Indies for a reason, because the East Indians came over here and started intermingling and populating those islands. All right, so they call it the West Indies for a reason, because a lot of the, when you look into the culture, a lot of the foods, a lot of the techniques of worship, a lot of the religious practices came over from India, from these Agori Sadhus. Now, some of the amazing attributes of the Agori Sadhus is that they live on the Ganga River. Okay? They like to smoke a lot of weed. Now, some of the influences that our people left behind from them was they're not going ahead and eating dead bodies out of the river like the Agori Sadhus do in India. They're not sitting on dead bodies for weeks at a time and eating all their foods out of a human skull. So Benjamin kind of left that behind.
Well, kind of, but kind of not. Because you got your Obia man.
Right.
So they do that kind of stuff. The voodoo, right? They do that kind of stuff.
Right.
So there's still sects of it that do it.
There you go. All right. So that they say the voodoo is blended in with its African spirituality. No, the hell it's not. All right. That's East Indian spirituality, worshiping the god of Shiva. When you read about these Agori Sadhus, they live on the Ganga River. They smoke a whole bunch of weed, big giant blunts. They grow their dreadlocks all the way. They never cut their hair. Just think of it like this. They never cut their hair, never comb their hair. Their dreadlocks will be from here to the end of the room. They grow up 20-foot long dreadlocks. All right? And it's where when you see them, you'll understand why they call them dreadlocks. Because they look dreadful. Yeah. All right? They look like they're just half dead human beings. They eat human flesh, but only of dead bodies that have died of themselves, which is completely against the law in every respect. All right? For one, you're eating human flesh. Two, you're eating something that died of itself. All right? And then you're combining the two. So they do that. Right. They go worship this goddess Shiva, and they have her little statue encased in a wall, and right in between her private parts, they have the little red stream. It looks like red paint coming down out of the middle of her, and that's supposed to show her menstrual period. And they go and they take their finger and they put it there in that little hole, and then they stick the dot right there in the middle of their forehead. So when you're looking at that little, they call it a bindi dot, and it makes you feel all spiritual because you get to say the word bindi dot. That's period blood you're smearing on your forehead. All right? And then you're going to put up a meme with Esau smearing period blood all over their face and be like, these people are disgusting. Then what the hell are you doing? All right? Now, again, if you look at the Agori Sadhus, and then you take all this and bring it over to the West, and then you try to figure out what the hell is Benjamin doing? Well, they're growing their dreadlocks real long. They ain't combing their hair. They're not cleaning the locks. They're smoking big giant blunts. And they go into that Obia man, Obia woman, and they have them put the spells on people and do all these different things. And this is what the Agori Sadhus specialize in. All right, they use the weed as a spiritual enhancer to get them into a trance-like state to be able to worship the goddess Shiva, who is the underworld goddess of the underworld. It goes into the worship of Astarte or Ishtar or Easter, as you know here in America. All right. So if you want to be embroiled in that, that's on you. All right. But this is what the scriptures say about our culture. Give me Song of Solomon real quick.
It's Songs of Solomon 5 and 11.
Song of Solomon chapter 5, verse 11.
And before you read that, the difference is though with Benjamin and these Agori Sadhu is Benjamin. They try to use the Bible. They try to use the scriptures to justify the weed smoke and all the other things that they do. So that's the problem. They know they're supposed to follow the scriptures, but they try to use the scriptures for the evil, for the weed smoking, and that's where you get all this madness that it's okay to smoke weed, and it was found on King Solomon's grave, and blah 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 blah, and Selassie and King of Judah, Ethiopia, all that madness. But go ahead.
Song of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 11. His head is as white, Salah. His head is as the most fine gold. His locks are bushy and black as a raven.
His locks are what?
Bushy.
His locks are what?
Bushy.
Mop-like?
Bushy.
Stringy.
Bushy.
Coiled.
Bushy.
His locks are dreaded.
Bushy.
His locks are bushy. Bushy, like a fro. Like a picked out fro. Alright, and if I let this go, sometimes y'all see me come into class like that. I get out the shower, I do my little shake, and I roll out. Alright? And that's where it twists up like that. When you let that go for a long period of time without combing your hair, and especially without washing it, you're going to get the same dreadlocks that you're seeing on a lot of these Rastafarians and that you're seeing on a lot of the Agori Sadhus over there. Alright? You know, some of our people like to justify it by, you know, they go to a shop and they have it professionally twisted to look like that. Alright? There's a difference, but those are clean. The other ones are dirty and filthy as hell. Alright? But our culture, man, our locks were bushy. The king of Israel, Solomon, his locks were bushy. Alright? When you read the scriptures and it says, I see men as trees walking. What do trees look like?
Big ass, like a big fro.
It look like a big fro. It don't look like no you know what I mean? Unless you hanging around like pussy willow trees where the thing just
hangs down.
Yeah, everything just hangs down like it's retarded and about to die.
Weeping willows.
Right, weeping willows, old things, right?
Weeping willows and dreadlocks.
Yeah. Now those would be the only trees that they would be talking about, and that don't grow over there in Israel. So the trees we more than likely talking about, man, would be the bushy looking trees, alright? This is why he said, I see men as trees walking. He was looking around seeing a bunch of brothers were froze and he was half blind. Alright? Read. So you finished that, right?
God.
So his locks were bushy. Now when we go to 1 Corinthians 11, we're going to find out about long hair. So now, notice, I'm not saying dreadlocks are a sin. It's a culture, and I'm going to let you decide for yourself. And it hasn't been decided. For me, wearing myself, I see the spiritual like to partake in that culture. I don't mean just the locks itself. I mean the actual culture, the weed smoke, the locks, and all the other stupidity that comes along with it. And you see it, man. They're scatterbrained, and they know nothing about nothing, but they talk about everything. It's ridiculous, man. They're like no go. Always like boy hippie mentality.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, you know, like I said, that's my own personal observation, and I also, like Paul said, I also have the Spirit of Christ, but I'm not going to say no, it's unlawful, because the scriptures don't say dreadlocks are unlawful. But it does say this. Go to 1 Corinthians 11. All right, and y'all know where I'm going, right? I'm true.
14.
Yeah,
Do it not.
There it is.
Do it not either teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him.
Right. So Paul's showing you that doesn't nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it's a shame to him? If you see a man walking around and he got this long hair all down his face and down his chest and down his back and everything, what does he always got to do? Yeah, he got to do that.
You gotta do the Fabio?
Yeah, he got to carry on an effeminate mannerism to him to get that hair up out of his face. Even if he's doing the other thing where they take the thumb and they hook it and they throw it back, that's woman stuff, man. And here's the problem: from far away, you ain't gonna know him from a woman anyway. Y'all see that?
God.
Shoot,
Especially if he ain't got no beard.
Yeah, when the brother rolled up next to me at the club, man, well, And this is a brother we roll with. He came up next to me and I don't have no peripheral vision without these glasses on.
My ashes running up?
Yeah, I'm like, what the heck? What's this like? You know, turning this is the brother right there. You know what I mean?
Damn.
Well, I'm like, I think this is 6 foot something Ayasha rolling up on me. And it's, you know what I mean, it's a brother. So that's the thing, is he doesn't want you to have that feminine quality, that feminine air about you. Alright?
You shouldn't even appear as a woman at all.
There you go.
No man should even be mistaken for a woman.
Right.
That was the purpose of the. I mean, it's like you know what I look. You know what I look at? I look at like a lion and a female lion and a male lion. There's a complete, clear, distinct. When you look at the face, that lion's mane, it distinguishes that man from that woman right off top.
There you go.
Right off top, you're like, oh, that's a male lion. You know, and then even when imagine a male lion with like this long dreads down his. You dread his mane, he starts looking feminine a little bit. But there's that, the Most High wanted that clear distinction at the end of the day.
Y'all see that?
Go on.
Alright. Y'all find me that But read that.
I'll read it again. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 14. Doeth not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him.
See that? So, why? Because it's a shame unto him, because that's what women do. Women's supposed to have long hair. Y'all see that?
God.
And matter of fact, when you go into the scriptures, it tells you that the long hair is the glory of a woman. It's the beauty of a woman.
Verse 15.
Verse 15.
There you go. All right, read that.
But if a woman have long hair, it is a glory.
See, so why would you want to put on as a man? Why would you want to put on a woman's glory? Think about that, right? The things that make a woman glorious, why would you want to put that on unless you live in 2017 America? Oops. Unless you want to walk around and try to get something on your own team. Think about that. Like, what's the point of wearing your hair all the way past your shoulders and all the way down to your butt, and you're a man? So other men could be checking you out, and then you turn around and, oh, damn, he got a beard too? And what's that?
So maybe you said it, but I was trying to find the pictures of nasty dreadlocks. So a man with long hair, they shouldn't, or is it like a length?
Well, again, we're talking about that long hair in a womanly fashion. Right. See, when we had our locks were bushy, right?
But what about a man that doesn't have bushy hair?
That has that just long. You talk about like Gad and stuff like that. Then they shouldn't have it in a long womanly fashion.
You mean like loose and flowing kind of?
There you go. Like among Gad, right? You had a woman's style of her hair, right, where she'd have it long, flowing, combed all the way down and everything like that. And then you had the man's where he would ponytail that up and everything like that for war, for battle, or he'd throw that up in a headdress if he was a chief, or he'd have his headband on, whatever.
Okay.
There was a manly fashion to their distinction in hair. You see that?
Yeah, how you gonna go to war with long ass hair? They have to snatch you up by the head and cut your head off,
or rape you.
Or rape you, yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, you know what? If you want to find an image, type in the Google, it's BONGO, and then dreads, bongo dreads. Because even with like the people that rock the dreadlocks, like the Rastas, they have different sets of Rastas. You got your bongo dread, you got your bingy dread, you got your right. Hey, lock around. What's you know some others? You got like different type of dreads. Yeah, you got different, and then some cats got the clumpy.
Oh, I
just
saw that. I'll put that up.
Just
like
one big dread.
Doodoo dreads.
Yeah, that's the bongo dreads. They're just real big and thick, and they don't do nothing to them. They got a lint. And then you got somebody. Like, look at this guy. This dude look like his dread is draped over his shoulder like a satchel. Look at that.
Wow.
Look at him. Yeah, look at his dread. His dread look like a satchel around his shoulder.
Yeah, it looked like somebody just took a doodle on his head and just let it run down his body.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Like abandoned puppies that are
that mat, they got matted.
Yeah,
That matted fur. That it's called mange. That's what that is. Mange. That's what it looks like. Golly, look at this dude's hair. That's terrible.
And he got it in that womanly style, man.
Yeah.
But that's Chinese cats over there.
I was watching a video of this dude in Jamaica. He unwrapped his dreads. He unwrapped it, and they were from like here to lock around. That's how big his hair was. He had to tie it, and then it just hung down. Even when he ran, it was crazy. I was like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was some peace march I was at in Colorado, man, before we left over here. But when I was still a cadet and everything, but this guy had it was in 5 points, man. He had his locks. This dude's locks was all the way on the ground. In a trail behind him.
Yeah.
You understand? What function is there to that? Except that you're imitating another culture that's not yours. Our locks were bushy. We were well-kept people. We were the excellency of dignity. We had, we had all these different characteristics, and now we're running around looking like we can't comb our hair.
Literally mopping the floor.
Yeah, like all the way back to ancient Egypt, they dig up archaeological evidence of picks, different types of styles of picks, Afro picks, right? But then you end up with what? Cats that don't want to do their hair.
Yeah,
that's not our culture. That's bum ass culture of people to praise rats and cows and live off a river somewhere in a tent
and drink out of skulls.
Yeah. Out of human skulls.
Skulls. They have to.
Yo, what's that, sis?
He was adding, he said he heard East Indies had us in slavery and they had dreadlocks and we took on their costumes with hair.
There you go. Now what does Jeremiah chapter 10 tell us? Let's get that.
Let's get it.
Because you're absolutely right. When those East Indians came over here, they enslaved the black man over here. They helped with the white slavery over here. Also because they had been conquered by the British, mostly, they had the mentality in them that black people were scum, that they're garbage. Just like the British did when you go down to Africa, they did the same thing. You watch that movie Hotel Rwanda with Don Cheadle? Mm-hmm. And he's telling you that the British came down and they told the Hutus that the Tutsis are dark skinned, they're cockroaches. And then they went over to the Tutsis and they said, hey, the Hutus are dark, they're light skinned, they're cockroaches. They both call each other the same derogatory term and they're both the same damn tribal people. Y'all see that?
Come on.
But then what are they divided over? Something that the British white man put in their brain and put in their culture. Y'all see that?
Come on.
Well, what are you divided over when you go to deal with Jamaica, when you go to deal with the West Indies? What is dividing them? You got some that want to follow Christianity and all this stuff, and then you got some that want to follow being Rastafari. And they want to follow Haile Selassie as the second coming of Christ and everything like that. Where does the Bible say that King Solomon ever even slept with the Queen of Sheba?
Right.
He had 1,000 women, and it doesn't never say that he slept with the Queen of Sheba. Y'all see that?
Come on.
And more than likely, her being the Queen of Sheba, that means she had a king already. So he wouldn't have slept with her committing adultery. That's stupid. What happened?
Somebody's making
Oh, what did he say? But where did we go?
You said go to Jeremiah 10.
Yeah, read Jeremiah 10.
Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 1. Verse 2. Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
So the word that the Most High gave to Israelites is what?
Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
Go do what the heathen do?
Learn not the way of the heathen.
The heathen's ways are okay.
Learn not the way of the heathen.
I love the way of the heathen.
Learn not the way of the heathen.
He said, don't learn the way of the heathen. That's what the Most High expressly told Israel. So now, if you can find the pictures of those Agori Sadhus, it's Aghori. That's pretty much all you got to put in, and then it'll pop that up for you. When you type in, when you look up these people, you're gonna see where you got your culture from. For you Jamaicans, for you West Indians, where you got the Rastafarian culture from. It's two different types of Eastern African, Eastern Kushite or Elamite mentalities. You got the whole Queen of Sheba having sex with Solomon, making a child, and then that child's child down the line end up being this Haile Selassie. That's complete BS.
What was the word?
Agori, Aghori. So these are heathen nations. These are other nations outside of us. Then the other influence is that you're getting it from the East Indian culture. All right? From the Agori Sadhus of India. So this has nothing to do with Israelite culture. What's that?
I was going to say, even if Solomon had a kid with Sheba, he'd be an Israelite. He wouldn't be an Ethiopian at all.
And you won't go worship him.
You wouldn't worship him. So that's off.
Just like you weren't to worship Christ. You were to worship the Most High, just like Christ told you. Who was Solomon's actual kin. His actual kindred.
Right.
Alright. But the Most High told us, he said, don't learn the way of the heathen. Were you able to find those images? Yeah. And there's video on it. I showed a brother this a while back and everything, but this is where you get that culture from. Alright?
So basically, there on Judges 16:13, what he was saying.
Oh, in the comments?
Yeah, this guy's just trolling.
He basically said Samson had 7 long dreads. It didn't say he had 7 long dreads. But he said Samson had 7 long dreads, so no, it's not a sin for a man to have long dreads. We didn't say it was a sin. When you read the scripture, it didn't say it was a sin. It said it's against nature.
And it never says Samson had 7 long dreads.
Yeah, it never said he had 7 long dreads. It said locks.
Right. Which, the thing is if a man got a big, giant, bushy fro because he never, ever cut his hair like Samson, more than likely he had it braided. Just like Absalom, his hair would get so long they would pull it every year. Meaning, with Absalom, they would take some off. Now, because Samson could not cut his hair, no razor could come upon his head, he would probably had his braided down. All right? Or as they say, he used to bolt it down. Right? He would have had his braided up like that. And if you look at the back, that more than likely means he had them fat braids, because when you get that braid, when you get your hair braided, in the back it ends up being rows. If you're doing the cornrows, it ends up being them long rows. So he had probably 7 long rows of braided hair coming out the back that she tied up.
That's what if thou weavest the 7 locks of my head.
Right. They don't say no dreadlocks. They're talking about the 7 locks of his hair, meaning he probably had it braided in rows. When you ever seen a nigga with dreadlocks that only had 7 locks? That's a bald-headed nigga. That's what that is.
Yeah, that's Coolio.
Yeah.
That's Coolio.
Yeah, Samson wasn't running around getting women from all these different nations looking like
Coolio, man. Come on.
Stop it.
But this dude ain't talking. He over here.
It's okay, man. They gotta try to justify their stupidity through the scriptures, man. It's all good.
Yeah. Hope you guys don't believe in the fake 12 tribes chart, so you already know what that's about.
If it's a fake chart, then come and prove us wrong. 8524 South Braeswood Boulevard, Houston, Texas 77071. If it's a fake chart, come and prove us wrong. If you didn't, for you to make that statement though, it shows your ignorance, because that means you've never been to a Hebrew Israelite class. You only seen cats on the street corner, and you only read the sign off the street corner. Because the 12 tribes chart just covers the Western Hemisphere. We got many, many, many books to show you where the 12 tribes are scattered abroad. In the Eastern Hemisphere, the Western Hemisphere, we don't even have to go there though. Deuteronomy 28 and 64 is simple enough. It tells you we was going to be scattered into all nations of the earth. Amos chapter 8 tells you we was going to be scattered into all nations that are upon the earth. So where are you getting this that the 12 tribes chart is off? The 12 tribes chart is for those that we are teaching in the Western Hemisphere. If we go to the Eastern Hemisphere, we'll show you where the Negritos are over there in the Philippines. We'll show you the Dravidians in India. We'll show you the Ainu people of southern Japan that live on the island of Hokkaido. If you want us to draw all that on the damn chart, then you'll be reading that and not listening to the word of the Most High. So stop being an idiot and stop being ignorant and come into class before you start crapping out of your mouth.
Or tune into class on time and you would have caught the beginning of us breaking down part of that 12 tribes chart. Stop being late for stuff.
John Pete, the man with 2 first names.
Damn. You're a monster.
Let's see.
Wes.
Right, so if you read that, you found that, that'd be good if you could post that research. And you heard that the East Indies had us in slavery. Bring that research, because the thing is you're gonna find out that then that would mean we're trying to take on the way of the heathen. It's much like a lot of our people today are now trying to get platinum blonde hair and straighten their hair and bleach their skin. It's no different. It's trying to take on another nation's culture. It's Rizzo walking down the streets in a damn kung fu outfit, trying to act like he's Chinese. You know what I mean? It's the chick they had in the courtroom on Judge what's-her-face, Judge, not Judy, the other one, where she was trying to disown her own mother because she was dark-skinned, and it was her own mother.
Yeah.
Just because she was passing in white culture, even though they stole that whole plot from Imitation of Life and faked it for the show. But that's a whole other thing. But this is going on all through our culture, and it goes right there with Daniel's chapter 9 and 7. Unto us belong confusion of faces. We try to take on everybody else's culture but our own. We try to go into everybody else's things and try to take on who they are and what they are, except our own, which is right here in the Bible. And the reason for that, because we don't want the Bible telling us to change. The Gori Sadhus allow me to be a weed-smoking idiot and be as filthy as I want to be. It's part of the culture. The Rastafaris let me be a weed-smoking idiot and be as dirty and filthy and smelly as I want to be. It's part of the culture. So I'm going to take on the loser culture as opposed to the upright culture that the Most High gave to me that said, listen, comb your hair, pick up your pants, walk upright, be righteous, don't smoke weed, be sober, be vigilant. Y'all see that?
Come on.
So what culture are you taking on when you indulge in these cultures? All right. Now notice I said culture, not hairstyle. If it's a hairstyle for you, if you went and got your little dreadlocks on because you saw Lil Wayne doing it, and all these other popular cats are doing, dreadlocks, that's the popular style of the day, then do your thing, man. You pretty much wasted a lot of money, but do your thing, because when that fades, you're gonna be stuck with long womanly hair. All right. You're going to be looking like a woman. A lot of these cats, they up there in that industry trying to make that look famous. Now, you got to think, anything the industry pushes, that's something you probably want to go a complete 180 from anyway. All right? Because Meek Mill, I was watching a thing with him, and he's over there like, yeah, y'all got to get off drugs. Y'all got to not do drugs, and that's just the way they keep you stupid and da-da-da-da-da. It's like, nigga, you the one that dropped the top-selling hit, Molly Percocet. You the one pushing drugs on the radio to millions. Now that you done made your money, you gonna come back, yeah, y'all shouldn't do drugs. Stop. They gonna do drugs because that's all they hearing on the radio is you subliminally pounding that into their head. Y'all see that?
Come on.
You made it the culture. These cats going out there, they pushing these dreadlocks and everything. Most of them, like 80 to 90% of them be faggots anyway. You look at their crew, you look at their videos, and they be all fagged out, man.
Every one of these new cats got dreads. Yeah, it's gay as hell.
Yeah.
Your little Uzi Vertical. What was it? Little Uzi Vert. Young Thug. Man, it's like a whole new rookie squad of just fags with dreads.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Because it's a mentality. You got to remember the things you wear. The scriptures tell you it's in Ecclesiasticus 19.
Why do you think when you go to these jobs they tell you cut your damn dreads off? Because you represent. They know that you represent something that They don't want you to represent their establishment.
See, I don't want to use that because they tell people cut their froze too. You know what I mean? They tell them to cut their beards, shave your face, do all that.
That's very true.
You see that? But check this out. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 19 and verse 29.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 19 and verse 29.
Uh-huh.
A man may be known by his look.
By his what?
By his look.
How do you know a man?
By his look.
A man may be known by his look. The look he carries himself in. When you look at Reuben, what we just went over, how did we know it lined up with the scriptures? Because the scripture said he was the excellency of dignity, and he was one of the few Native American tribes walking around with his clothes on. Oh, it was because of the climate. No, nigga, they lived in the South. If anyone had an excuse to be running around with a flap of deerskin over their penis, it was going to be the tribe of Reuben. They lived in all the southern part of America, Texas and Florida and Louisiana. They had plenty of excuse to walk around with no clothes on. But when you see the pictures of these guys, they're fully clothed every time, head to toe. Mitris, gold earrings, gold chains, everything, down to the foot. So it was climate? Well, then why was the ones in the northern part of America all the way up into Canada barely wearing clothes? It wasn't a climate thing. It was a spiritual thing. It was the scriptures trying to make evident how Reuben was going to be. There was going to be the excellency of dignity, and that means they had clothes on. All right, they combed their hair. You didn't see none of them Reubenites running around with locks. Y'all see that? They had their mitri on. They carried themselves excellently. All right, that was how our people roll. We didn't roll like these niggas do today, man. No style, no class. Looked like somebody took a dump on their head and they shook it into the shower and didn't ever use the shower.
No, read that again.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 19 and verse 29.
Go ahead.
A man may be known by his look.
Damn, you look like Lil Wayne. Read it again.
A man may be known by his look.
You look like Young Thug.
A man may be known by his look.
You look like Lil Uzi Vert.
A man may be known by his look.
You look like every dude that got dreads in the world.
A man may be known by his look.
You see that? Now you're getting confused with all the bad.
Yeah, you ain't never heard nobody that was a dreadhead get told, yeah, somebody walked up to me and said I look like King Solomon. No, they didn't. Somebody walked up to me and said I look like a man of wisdom. No, they didn't. When they walked up to you, they thought you was Thug number 3 in the gay video that they watch on MTV, whatever. MTV even still doing videos anymore?
Nah, they don't do videos in like years.
Right, you look like something I seen on YouTube, Vivo. Right? You don't look like nobody with wisdom. But a man would be known by his look. Read.
And one that hath understanding by his countenance.
Right, one that has understanding by the face that he has. Right? Now you look at most of these cats, they slack-jawed mouth breathers that don't even know how to hardly talk. A lot of them got tattoos all over their damn face, all the way down their body and everything like that. How you supposed to look at a nigga and take him seriously when he drew permanently on his face? How's that guy supposed to raise his kids? Don't write on the walls. Nigga, you wrote on your face. In permanent ink. You ain't gonna tell me I can't draw on the wall in crayon. Read.
When thou meetest him. Verse 30. A man's attire.
His attire, the way he dresses, the way he carries himself, the way he adorns himself. Go ahead.
And excessive laughter.
Whether he laughs a lot or whether he doesn't laugh at all. Go ahead.
And gait.
His gait, the way he walks. Right? How you know a dude's a homo?
The way he walks.
Right. His gait don't quite work right. There's something very queer about that man's gait.
Yeah, his gait ain't straight.
Yeah.
That gait is crooked. And weak.
Yeah, see that?
God.
Man shouldn't walk heel to toe. What where his heel crossed all the way across his other toe. He should walk like that. Man shouldn't walk with his hand out like this. Like this here. Him shouldn't walk like that.
like you holding an imaginary purse? Just.
Y'all see that? You'll know by his gait if a nigga walking around like with his bird chest poked out,
and he's just prancing around like a little deer.
Yeah.
Oh, hell nah.
He shouldn't walk like that. You understand? Go ahead.
Show what he is.
They show what manner of man he is. So if you're walking around looking like a woman, you're going to be perceived as a woman. If you're walking around looking like you don't know how to keep your own hair, you're going to be perceived as somebody who can't be put in any position of responsibility. You can't even comb your hair that God gave you. Y'all see that? Right, so this is how you're going to know the man. You're going to know by his look, his excessive laughter, his gait, and his attire. All right? Looks like that's it for questions. Yeah, Pete got told off. John Peter, whatever, he got told off because he's an idiot. All right, so don't let that dissuade y'all from asking questions. That guy was trying to come with a challenge. He wasn't coming with no questions.
Yeah, because you don't go from here to the 12 tribes chart. That don't make no damn sense. You don't go from talking about hair, and all of a sudden y'all are off because you believe in the 12 tribes chart. We know it's a challenge.
Right.
But ask y'all's questions.
All right. So, oh, it's 7:30 already. Well, we got a class.
Yes, we do. Y'all good so far?
I mean, if y'all had any other questions on that topic, on any of the topics we just went over, if you got your own questions, we can do that too. It's not a problem. All right, because there's some that they don't understand that. Well, I don't get it. Why is that a problem? We can go further into it. All right, we've done the research. We do the scriptures. We do this all day, so we can go further into that. If you need it, we can do that. All right. Huh?
Go on.
All right. Any questions?
No.
Y'all good? Nothing? All right. Let's get it. Somebody give me Titus.
And we're going over receiving instruction, right?
Yeah, we're gonna and of it. Why is it from looking a lot of heartache and mistakes and minimize bad experiences? You know, instructors. He set it up so that things can run smoothly in whatever it is, your life, in your family, in your work. The Most High set things up so it can run smooth. He set things up with an order, right? He said, let all things be done. Somebody give me that real quick. I wasn't going to start with that. But give me that. What is that? Thessalonians? Let all things be done decently and in order.
What was it 1340? First Corinthians?
Yeah. Y'all got it? Somebody get that, or somebody get Titus 1 and 4. Let all things be done. First
Corinthians chapter 14 and verse 40.
Go ahead.
Let all things be done.
Let some things.
Let all things be done.
Let what you want to be done.
Let all things be done.
I'm going to pick and choose.
Let all things be done.
See, the Most High said let all things be done. You got to stress that. All things got to be done decently and in order. So even the way things are handed down have to be done decently and in order. The way you receive it has to be done decently and in order. The way you give it to another person has to be done decently and in order. So when it comes to receiving instruction, that has an order and a structure to it. Go to 1 Timothy. What did I call 1 Timothy 1 and 4? or Titus. It's like it. Titus. So we got to see, man, that a lot of times, a lot of mistakes that we make in life, we were never instructed correctly. There was no one there to guide us and say, listen, don't do it like this, do it like that. Don't go down that road. Go down, the fork in the road, go left or go right. Some of us didn't have that instructor, that guidance. But then, some of us that did have that decided to do what?
Still do their own thing.
Do your own path, right? And what happened? Some of us listen, if you're of age, some of y'all regret some of the things y'all done. A lot of us have regrets on the things that we knew if we would have went the opposite way, if we would have followed the counsel, followed the instruction, did it the way it was already laid down, a lot of our burdens would have been eased. Go ahead, read that where you at.
Titus chapter 1, verse 4.
You got it?
Got it.
Go ahead.
To Titus, my own son, after the common faith, grace, mercy, and peace.
Right.
From God the Father and the Lord, Christ our Savior.
Go ahead.
For this cause left I thee in Crete, that thou shouldst...
So Titus was left in Crete. Go ahead.
That thou shouldst set in order the things...
That thou should do what?
Set in order the things that are wanted.
You see that? Titus was left to set things in order in Crete. The things that were wanting, the things that needed to be done. The things that needed attention. Whatever it was, he was left there to set things in order. Y'all with me?
Come.
1 and 4. Go ahead.
Done. And ordained elders in every city.
Wait, he did what?
Ordained elders in every city.
So everybody just did whatever they wanted?
Ordained elders in every city.
So there were ordained elders in every city.
So he ordered that there be elders. He ordered it that, hey, listen, this is an order. This is not something you get to it's optional.
Right. Ordered and ordained elders. That way people would have instructors. Because what does an elder do? What has an elder done? Think about an elder. What gives an elder the title of elder? What's that?
He teaches.
He does what?
He teaches.
What else? Go ahead.
Oh, he teaches. He gives examples. He's an example. He's a leader.
Jump to verse 9.
Verse 9. Holding fast the faithful word.
He did what?
Holding fast the faithful word.
Go ahead.
As he hath been taught.
You see that? That's what makes a man an elder. He hold fast the faithful word as he has been taught.
Yes.
So he's handing down the ordinances the way he was taught. That's what makes a man an elder. The things that he was taught, he held to them. He rolled in that faith. It said he held faithful. See, these are important things. He didn't say he left off and did his own thing. I'm gonna be my own instructor. I'm gonna be an army of one. I'm gonna do me, YOLO, all that. He said no. He held fast the faithful word as he hath been taught. So guess what? That elder was what?
Faithful.
Well, he was also taught, right? He didn't just come and make up some just old BS off the top of his head. All of a sudden, what do they come up with, man? What do they come up with in these schools? Oh, yeah, the 12 tribes chart. That's off. It's like, but where'd you get that from? Like we told the brother, listen, you come and prove it. You see that? Or we're the home of the truth. Prove that. Without trying to twist every scripture you do pull. No, this elder held fast to what he was taught by another elder. Read on.
God. That he may be able, by sound doctrine, both to exhort and to convince the gainsayer.
What did he use?
Sound doctrine.
Sound doctrine. Right? He wasn't tossed to and fro. The facts and the points that he brought out were sound. When you say that it's sound, it can't be moved. It can't be refuted. He held fast to these things. And this is what he taught. See, a lot of us, we run from sound doctrine. I throw myself in there because there was a time when I was just like, man, I'm going to do what the hell I want. I'm going to do what I want, when I want to do it. And you know, it was really a disregard for, it was definitely a disregard for authority. That's one, but it was a disregard for my own self. As we're going to read in the scriptures, as we're going to read down, it was a disregard for life. See, and that's what a lot of us don't realize, is that when you disregard and despise instruction, you're really disregarding your own life. You're really saying, man, I don't give a damn about me. I don't give a damn about the people around me. If you're a man with a household and you got a brand new, let's say you're a man you got a brand new wife, and you've never been through how a man should deal with a woman according to the Bible. Not to hit it and quit it. We talking about you lay with this woman, she's your wife, she got problems, you got to figure them out. You got to fix them. You got to sit her down, take her to the scriptures. You've never done that in your life because you're just used to hitting it and disappearing. Next, another notch on the bedpost, right? But now, when it's like, all right, we're going to show you how to deal with this woman. We're going to show you how to be a godly man. We're going to instruct you, right? Because that's the word. We instruct one another. The elders instruct you how to deal with your wife. Oh, you got this problem? Here, let's go to the instruction manual. And you're like, come on, I'm going to do that. And you go home and you don't do it. You don't care about your own life. You don't care about your own well-being, because your rib is supposed to be what? A pillar against death, right? You got to teach her how to do that. But if you don't teach her how to be that pillar, you're not caring about your own life. Somebody give me Ecclesiasticus 8 and 8. Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 8, verse 8.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 8, verse 8.
Uh-huh.
Despise not the discord.
What?
Despise not.
Somebody give me the definition of despise. It says despise not, go ahead.
The discord of the wise.
The discourse. Somebody get me the definition of that also. It says despise not the discord of who?
The wise.
You could actually, okay, we're going to leave that word there. Despise not the discourse of the wise. Why not? Why not, Ray? What is this scripture saying?
As in, don't find it grievous of somebody's basically wisdom, as in a wise man's basically discourse, as in their. I see discourse in a way of, well, the definition of that, as in they're guiding your life the right path. So don't despise it. Don't sit there and be like, oh, like forget what he's saying.
When you despise something, you hate it. You hate. You abhor. So it says, hate not the discourse. The discourse is the teaching, the conversation, the instruction, the wisdom, the counsel, the rebuke. It's all these things. It says, hate not the instruction of the wise. I mean, come on. What smart man would hate when a wise man instructs him? He wouldn't be a smart man, right? He's a fool. He's a fool. It says, hate not the discourse, the instruction of the wise. Why? Why, Abiyar?
Because the wise person, he's not wise for no reason.
Right. What does he have?
He has the wisdom.
What else?
He has
what afforded him? Okay, he has the experience. He has the know-how.
Gone.
He has the tools. He has the formula.
Gone.
Right?
Gone.
He has all these things that made him wise. Because to be wise, you have to go through the experiences and know, okay, this works, this doesn't. Mm-hmm. And you may have to go through things more than one time to really see, like, okay, trial and error, trial and error, trial and error. That's what makes a man wise, is the correct application of his knowledge. So that way, when you do make the mistake once, you come back and you're hit with the same problem a year later, whatever it may be, you can now correctly apply whatever knowledge you have of that situation to that situation. But see, it says, despise not the discourse of a wise man, because what it's telling you is that you don't have that discourse yet. You don't have that wisdom to apply yet. So that wise man is giving it to you. He's giving you the keys to life. He's giving you the jewel. He's saying he's giving you some jewels, hidden jewels, right? He's giving you hidden jewels. He's giving you the things that are going to keep you alive. That's why it says don't hate it. Don't disregard it. But a lot of us, especially, I hate to use it, but a lot of us in our youth, we do that. We're so quick to be like, ah, he's old as hell. He don't know nothing. Yeah, he's old as hell and he's been through some things. What you got?
I got the definition. I have the definition for discourse.
Go ahead.
The capacity of orderly thought.
The what?
The capacity of orderly thought.
So there's order. There's order, right? Discourse is order. The way things should be laid down. The way things should be presented. And it says the thought. Wait, should read it one more time?
The capacity of orderly thought.
Orderly thought. So it's not chaotic thinking. It's not that toss to and fro like a child mentality. This is ordered thought. Go ahead.
Or procedure.
Or what? A procedure.
Gone.
You see that? It's like, you know, a doctor is not going to go and operate on a person and just start pulling out their organs. You got to do a heart transplant. You just going to, what you going to do? Just rip into his chest and pull out the, no, there's procedure. He got to go scrub in, right? Get them hands nice and clean. You got to glove up, apron, mask. He almost come from off the street, walk into the operating room and just dig into somebody's chest. There's thoughts and procedures that are ordered. Go ahead.
I have a mode of organizing knowledge, ideas, or experience.
Wow. Y'all see that? This is what discourse is. Organized knowledge and experience. So the scripture is telling us don't despise, don't hate when somebody's giving you their experience. Yes. Don't hate when they're giving you the mode of thought that is ordered to complete a task. What you got, Ray? I know that Black Dictionary becoming.
I'm despised.
It's a. Go ahead, read despise.
To look down upon?
Yeah, you looking down on somebody else's experience. You looking down on the doctors telling you this is the way we're gonna do it. This is the way you operate, and you're like, nah, I'm gonna just walk in there dirty as hell, hands dirty, no operating materials or tools. I'm gonna just use a hammer to do heart surgery. Scalpel? Nah, I don't want to use a scalpel. I'm gonna use a hammer. I'm gonna just bust right in there. I'm gonna use a mallet. Go ahead. It says, go ahead. Yeah, I'm gonna duct tape them up when I'm done.
To have the lowest opinion of.
Yeah, you got a low opinion. You're like, man, I ain't valuing that. You got a low opinion of this person's experience that's meant to help you. Because it says the discourse of the wise. It didn't say the discourse of an idiot. Think about it. This is wise discourse. So we know this is what you're supposed to be taking, not looking down on it. What else?
To contempt.
To what?
To contempt.
Contempt, right? Go back and forth with. Go ahead.
To disdain.
Disdain. Yeah, you got a deep disdain. It's hate. Go ahead.
To scorn.
To scorn. You're like, ah, man. Yeah, you old. You old as hell. I know you've been around, but still. What do you know? You got people that say, they say that to people, man, you don't know nothing. You young, or you don't know nothing. You too old. You out the loop. That's what I look for. I look for them old heads to come rap to me and drop some jewels. It might not always come all scriptural, but their experiences are invaluable because they can give you some things that they have been through that you might encounter. But having the knowledge now, you can actually apply the scriptures with that experience and say, damn, okay, now I know how to better go through whatever might come up. Jump back to Ecclesiastes 8.
Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 8.
Go ahead.
Despise not the discourse of the wise.
Right. So basically, don't disregard the ordered method of a wise man. Go ahead.
But acquaint thyself.
But do what?
Acquaint thyself.
Yeah, you need to get acquainted. What did the weekend say? Let's get acquainted. You need to get all up under and get with and get to know. You got to acquaint yourself. Go ahead.
Thyself with their proverbs.
Yeah, you got to acquaint thyself with their proverbs. What you think the apostles were doing with Christ when he was dropping them parables. And Christ would move over to the side and let everybody just think, like, man, what the hell was he talking about? What? And then they would go back to Christ. Master, what was that parable? They were trying to get acquainted with what Christ was saying. They were trying to get to know. You looking for that definition? Yeah, get it. Yeah. It says acquaint yourself with their proverbs. See, this is important, man, because a lot of us, we disregard wisdom. And I think, I don't know if it's a thing where, you know, like us, you know, brothers are always with each other. So we're always in that wisdom mode. Something wise is always coming out of something. So I don't know if it's a thing where it's like, man, I'm just getting too much wisdom. Let me toss this little bit of wisdom out the way. I don't need that wisdom. Or I don't need this wisdom. That's too much wisdom. You're supposed to be trying to suck up all the wisdom. Because it can all be used at a certain time. You found it? Go ahead. Acquaint.
Acquaint.
Uh-huh.
It says a method of etching or on. Wait, it's a lot. I think it's wrong.
That might be the wrong word.
It's right.
You got it, Lagarel? You got it, Schwarzman?
I have two. One it says to make known, to make fully or intimately known.
Yeah, you got to get intimate. You got to make known. You got to be intimate with their proverbs. You don't know something that they drop? You go and ask, man, what did that mean? Explain it to me more. Instead of, oh, I don't understand that, so it don't matter. Let me go over here. You're supposed to get to know a wise man's proverbs. This is what's going to keep us safe. This is what's going to keep us alive. Don't worry about it, Ray. We good. Where you at?
Come on. Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 8.
Uh-huh.
For of them thou shalt learn instruction.
You should do what?
For of them.
So of their proverbs and of their of their proverbs and of their discourse, their wise discourse, you're going to learn what?
Instruction.
This is how you learn instruction. This is how you get wisdom. This is how you get understanding and knowledge. Wise discourse and wise proverbs. Go ahead.
And how to serve great men with ease.
This is how you serve great men. This is how you're a good student, because a student is in service to his master, right?
God.
But guess what? It's not a teacher in servant to his student.
God.
Isn't it a back and forth thing?
God.
Yeah, so the scripture is showing you this is how you're a great student and a great teacher. Because you're going to become that elder where you got to be able to drop into a person and be wise and have wise discourse. Y'all get that?
God.
Read on.
Verse 9.
Uh-huh.
Miss not the discourse of the elders.
You see that? Why? Why is it not? Why does it come back and say, miss not the discourse of the elders? Go ahead, Abiyar.
Because if you miss the discourse, you're missing the procedure, you're missing the formula of how to do things.
Right. And what do the elders represent? What are they, as when we were in our righteous mind and coming back to it, what do the elders represent?
The gates. They're come on.
You just said it. They represent the know-how. They represent the wisdom.
Right.
That they represent the formula of doing things the correct way.
The example.
The example. That's the word.
God.
They represent the example of how things should be done.
God.
So the scripture is telling us don't miss what the hell they're saying. Meaning you better be present, present-minded. When a brother is talking and dropping it, shut up and listen. Don't miss what he's saying. Don't let it go over your head. Acquaint thyself with their parables and their wise sayings. I always go back to the apostles in Christ, because Christ would just drop a parable, the seed and the sower. They'd be all confused, like, man, what's he talking about? Everybody would be confused. But what would the 12 do? They would go back to him. Master, what was that parable? Break it down so we can understand. That's how we should be. You hear something wise that's coming from the Bible, you're like, huh? It's just like last night, brothers got together. And what did we do? Before we went out, we were just all sitting there rapping about history and about this and about that. And I'm sitting there listening like, damn, okay. Well, I got a question. What about this? Or what brothers think about this? There was wise discourse being tossed back and forth in the room. I'm loving. But if I was up in my phone playing games and worried about my rib and my boo and this and that, I would have missed that wise discourse. I would have not been able to acquaint myself with those wise sayings and parables.
And when it says miss not the discourse of the wise, right? What's some ways we can miss their discourse? That's a question. Go ahead.
Kind of like what you were saying, when they're speaking, you're on your phone, or you're not really paying attention to what they're saying. Your mind is somewhere else.
Right. So you're there, but you're not really there.
Right.
Or like you're looking at them, but you're thinking about
something else.
There you
Calm, brother. But your mind is on like sex or drugs, rock and roll, and money. I don't know. I mean, or what time? Yeah, this council's long as hell, man. I need to get home. When brothers is dropping wisdom, you worried about getting home.
Well, what's some other ways we can miss that discourse? Lock her up.
I mean, one way is you cannot let it enter. You cannot agree with it, so you don't let it enter.
By not agreeing with it. I don't agree with that, so I'm just shutting down. I'm not even gonna hear you.
Right.
Right? That ain't me. That ain't how I am. Right? All that?
Right. You
That's how you shut down the discourse, man. You miss the discourse. Why? Because you automatically assume it doesn't apply to you.
Right.
What else?
That defensive mind state, right?
Yep. Abiyar?
By not making a priority, by not accepting it as something important.
Right, but not making a priority, not accepting it as something that's important, right? I don't need it. That doesn't apply to me. I don't know how to use that, right? Or I just don't want that. I didn't ask for your opinion.
Or I already heard that.
You
already heard that before. It's like, yeah, you keep hearing it because you're not using it.
Yeah, I'm going step by step through all the ones that people actually do. That's what these are.
Right.
These are things that we actually do when we're getting instruction, when we're getting advice, and how we miss the discourse. What's another way?
Oh, when you think that's the heart, I'm not gonna try to understand it.
Right. Again, rejecting it. It's too hard. I don't want to have to use that, so I'm not even going to try to understand you. That's what I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me break it down to you like a 5-year-old, and okay, I'm explaining it to you slowly. And do you understand now? No, I don't know what you mean. You know damn well you know what I mean. You just don't want to do it. You don't want to have to do it and be accountable for that. So you're just gonna say I don't understand until I just give up. What else? Mary, you said deny it?
Yeah.
Right? What else? There's more. what you got?
So it might be some stuff that they've already said, but like not wanting to be held accountable for knowing that, for having known already that, like you heard it.
Right.
Like I talked about it in front of you. You should know about this. Kind of
Right. Okay. Lakarat?
You hear it, but you don't understand.
Right, that's what she said.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Not surrounding yourself with those people who do know those examples.
Not surrounding yourself by the people that know the example, right? That follow that example, that do it, right? I'm not going to hang around them because they actually use that, and I'm too lazy to do what they're doing. So I'm going to draw back. I'm going to stay away from them, because if I hang around them, they're going to show me that it's not impossible like I told myself it is.
Right.
That's why you go to these Christians, you be like, yeah, we got to keep the law. No, can't nobody keep all them laws.
Yeah.
That's impossible.
What are you talking about? You just don't hang around people that do. That's the problem. Well, let's read about Christ. He kept all the law. Well, let's talk about reality. We don't need to read them scriptures. Oh, so you don't want to be around and find out that there is people that keep the law. Y'all see that?
God.
When I want to tell myself it's impossible because I don't want to do it, what do? I separate myself from those that do it. I only hang around the people that also believe it's impossible. That's why I go to church. Right?
Ooh.
That's why I go to school. Because I want to be told that it is not scientifically possible to do anything in the Bible. I want to hang around people, ignorant morons, that profess themselves to be wise but are fools.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hang around them because I'll still sound smart without actually doing anything. But what's another way we miss the discourse? What's some other ways we miss what the elders are saying?
Obadiah threw one in. She said we miss the discourse because we don't want to change.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
So that's a form of stubbornness.
Yes.
Right.
We're stubborn as hell.
Hard-headed.
Stiff-necked.
Right? We close our ears to it.
Mm-hmm.
But another way is what? We're trying to overtalk. I'm trying to make sure that I say how righteous I already am when you're trying to tell me how righteous I need to become. Well, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I be doing that. And matter of fact, I was just doing this and this and this and that. Can I finish? Because what I'm saying applies to the situation you just stepped in dog crap. And if you watch where you were going, well, I was watching where I'm going. Matter of fact, I got like ninja skills. Like just yesterday, I jumped over a whole car.
There's doodle on your shoe.
Yeah, there's right now.
Right now, this second.
On your shoe, there's crap all over it. What are you talking about? I'm trying to finish and tell you what you're doing right now. You telling me all the things you've ever done in your life.
So you're already formulating an excuse. You're already formulating a thought before you could actually hear the discourse.
Right.
Before the discourse is even given, you already got a rebuttal. You already have an excuse.
Yeah. And then there's the basics. I walk out. You know what? I'm just gonna hang up the phone. I'm gonna act like I'm not getting a signal.
Yeah, I didn't get that text.
I'm in tunnel. You do? Can you hear me?
What is it?
All right.
You
You get the paper.
yeah. Or you open the window like it's windy in here. I'm in a wind tunnel. Yeah, blowing it. Ain't no tunnel in Texas, but you in a tunnel all of a sudden. You start blowing in the microphone of the phone. That's funny. Damn.
Why? Because I don't want to hear the things that are going to cause me to change. I don't want to hear the things. I don't want to hear that I'm wrong. I don't want to hear that my way isn't doing it the right way. It's not getting the job accomplished. I want to hear that everything I'm doing is 100% right. So I'm going to miss the discourse of the elders. See, just being not around, that's the basics of it, you know?
Right.
But there's more intricate ways we miss the discourse of the elders. Some of y'all doing it right now. Some of y'all sit in class and you sitting there and you know, we swear you diligently taking notes and everything. And then your husband opened up your notebook one day and you got pictures of yourself stabbing him and throwing a toaster in the bathtub while he's in there, and you know what I mean? And
you got a whole flip book comic. You got a whole flip book comic of notes, and it's like, damn, I thought they was taking notes.
Yeah, that's his head always down. Her head be moving 1,000,000 miles an hour. I mean, swear, this chick is transcribing the Holy Scriptures and the mysteries.
And she's getting acquainted with the parables.
Right?
It's just a flip book of her stabbing her husband.
Repeatedly.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, man.
Hey.
What are some other ways? What else y'all got? You know, a lot of it is not wanting to be held accountable.
Yeah.
Not wanting to be held accountable and not wanting to actually step up to the plate and do what it is you have to do. What else y'all think? Blessings and many pieces, many blessings. Read that again. Read that where you at, Ray.
Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 9. Miss not the discourse of the elders.
Go ahead.
For they also learn of their fathers.
They did what?
Also learn of their fathers.
Yeah, see, these elders, they were taught by an elder. They were taught by they also learned of their fathers. So you know what the scripture is saying? It says they also. So you know what it's telling you? You also have to learn of them. They also learn. Now you also have to learn. This is the method. This is the discourse. It's the controlled method, right?
Gone.
So this is the way you're supposed to learn. You're supposed to get instruction from the elders.
Yeah.
You're supposed to get instruction from your husband. You're supposed to get instruction from the brother above you in righteousness. Obviously, if he's instructing you to go be a whore, then we don't want that. For brothers instructing you to go sell drugs and pimp women, that's not what we want to do, obviously. But if a brother's instructing you, listen, you know, the way you keep your area clean is you do it like this. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, you got a foot odor? Listen, I'm going to give you the method on how to knock that out. That way you're not offending people. Oh, you got body odor? Oh, your breath stinks? Oh, you don't know how to iron a shirt? I'll give you the method. Right? I mean, it's little things.
Yeah.
I remember the brother came to the house. A brother came to the house, and he came in a nice shirt. And the shirt it looked like he tried to iron it, but it wasn't ironed to a standard of you should wear that outside. So I said, listen, I'll take your shirt off. I'm going to show you something. And I showed him, I gave him the instructions on how to properly iron the shirt.
The discourse.
The discourse. And the brother said, well, I don't have an ironing board. I said, okay, I got a solution for that. What you do, you get you a towel, you fold it, and you put it on your bed, and what'll happen is when you hit the steam on the shirt, that towel it'll get in those creases and knock out the wrinkles. Did the discourse work?
Gone.
Because the next day he came, brother's shirt was ironed beautifully. Brother's shirt was ironed beautifully. You know, it's little things, man. It's little things it's just little things that add up to big things. Where it's like, he could have been prideful as hell, like, nah, man, I ain't gonna listen to this cat. And he just walking out the house, was looking like a fool. Like, damn, you can't iron a shirt? It's little things. Read on.
Come, and of them thou shalt learn understanding.
And you gonna get what?
You shall learn understanding.
You know why a lot of us don't want to get that discourse? We don't want to understand what's really going on with us. We don't want to take the time to understand that, listen, this is your problem, fix it. We don't want to understand, man. We want to be lazy-minded. Oh, this is the way Most High created me, so this is how I'm going to be. We don't want to understand our problem so that we can change, like Obadiah said then. Because if you don't understand the problem, you can't change, correct? Well, a lot of us don't even want to understand that we're messed up. I've been there. I didn't want to understand that I was messed up. I'm like, man, I'm good. Messed up? What the hell are you talking about? I'm good. I got this, I got this, I got that. I got all this surface crap.
And you know, I gotta throw one more in there about how we missed the discourse of the elders. We're sitting there looking at the elder trying to find their faults.
Ooh, damn, you went there. I just want to drop my mic. Golly.
We're looking at so good. Well, wait, what'd you say?
Class over. Damn.
Like the elder. Okay, so you understand that? You understand? What? Huh? Why? Because the whole time I was sitting there, well, he don't do this. She don't even do this. Right? The whole time you was talking to yourself in your brain, you missed everything that person was telling you to fix you. Wow, what were you expecting? Who did you think was going to be doing the correcting and the instruction? Christ?
Only God can judge me. That's what they expect. That's what some of us expect. That the Most High himself is going to ascend from heaven and say, sister, get right. Brother, clean up your room. clean your house, clean your car, deal with your woman correctly. Hell nah. It said the elders also learned of their fathers. So that's the method of how you're going to learn. From your elders. Read on.
And to give answer as need required.
Where you at?
The end of verse 9.
Right. It says, and of them thou shalt learn understanding. To give answers as need required. Now you'll be able to understand and what? Answer. Give an answer for something. Why'd you do that? Well, not that I understand myself. I didn't listen because I'm hard-headed and rebellious and stiff-necked. So that's, or the reason why I did do it is because I'm faithful. I'm trying to get right. You ever, like my son, I'm like, Noah, why'd you do that? I don't know. That's his new favorite answer for everything. I don't know. And before he knows he can use that to, but there's some things he just don't understand yet. Is that going to continue to be his answer? No, he's going to keep teaching him so he can understand. So now it's like, no, why'd you do that? Well, now he can explain himself. He can give an answer, whether it be I did it or I didn't do it, a good answer or a bad answer. But now his thing is I don't know. But a lot of us as old-ass people, as old grown-ups, as grown folk, our answer to life is I don't know. Why did that happen? I don't know. Shoulder shrug. Remember that? Hashtag shoulder shrug? Like Kanye shoulder shrug? Like.
Hey, just on that, go to Ecclesiastes 21:15 real quick.
Like Kanye shoulder shrug, like that's a thing?
Yes.
Ecclesiastes 21:15. Read that.
Ecclesiastes chapter 21, verse 15. If a skillful man hear a wise word.
Wait for what?
If a skillful man hear a wise word.
If a skillful man hears a wise word, right? Person that's studied up, they've been around, they acquainted themselves with the elders, they acquainted themselves with the proverbs. If they hear that wise word, what are they going to do?
He will commend it.
He will what?
Commend it.
Disregard it.
Commend it.
Disrespect it.
Commend it.
Talk over it.
Commend it.
He'll leave.
Despise it.
Commend it.
See, he'll commend it. He'll lift it up. He'll be like, oh, man, thank you. I needed that. That's what happens when a skillful person hears a wise word. Y'all see that? Go ahead. They don't do it. I don't know.
Yeah, like, damn. Shoulder shrug.
Go ahead.
And add onto it.
And they'll add unto it.
Gonna give answer.
Yeah. It's like last night, you know, me and the brother got checked because me and Kazaki sit there, he going through the history, and then I'm telling him this thing on the history, and then he coming back and showing me this in this book, and then the other brother just butt in like, yo, want me to grab a 6-pack? You like, no, bro, you're supposed to add on to what we talking about, not come with your own stupidity in the middle of it. You see that? We're not coming with something completely off the topic. Me and my boy used to roll. We were rolling to Colorado Springs, man. I remember this to this day, and I was just dating this girl, man. She's sitting in the back seat, me and him in the front, rapping about stuff and everything. And then just in the middle of the conversation, she's like, "I have a bear trap." Like, I'm driving the car. I'm like, I just want to like turn around all the way in the seat and look at her, just like, what the hell? Like on the highway, just I don't care if we drive in oncoming traffic. I'm just like, what
does that mean?
There's no reason for that. It's like, why? Because this person's unskillful. They don't have any kind of
There's no seasoning. There's no. They're like it's that social.
Socially retarded, man.
Social awkwardness, like. You want to say something, but you're just going to say the first random thought?
Yeah, like you got Tourette syndrome or something? No, you got to be skillful. How do you become skillful, though? How do I become skillful in how to add to the conversation? Who can tell me? There's more than one, just like the other question.
You got to study.
You got to study so you can keep up, right? Because that's another example I always use, and that's against myself. You know, I went AP chemistry when I was in high school. I never took regular chemistry. I barely passed any science classes, but I'm sitting there in AP chemistry trying to get college credits, and these cats is throwing around terms from the book, like the glossary terms, like in jokes and stuff, and I'm sitting there like, that's not funny. Like, I'm just like, why the hell are they laughing at that? And then we get into class and it's like, the teacher's over there explaining, we get to a certain page and, hey, this is a mole. A mole is Avogadro's number 10 times 23 to the, or 10 times something to the 23rd power of this molecule or whatever. And I'm like, oh, now it makes sense. That's funny now. And I'm like giggling and the dude's like,
you're late.
Yeah, the teacher's looking at me like, what the hell are you laughing at? I didn't say nothing funny because I'm just now getting the joke they told like 2 days ago.
You missed their discourse.
Yeah, I didn't get the discourse because I wasn't studied. Y'all see that?
Come on.
AP chemistry is for the niggas that read the whole textbook and then went to the class.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I got the textbook. I'm in there waiting for them to teach out of the textbook.
No.
They never did that. It's like we in there tie-dyeing shirts and, hey, weigh me out this many of this much sand, and they write it in exponential.
Oh, the special numbers and parentheses. Yeah.
They write it like that. And I'm supposed to weigh that out in sand. And
like, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally.
What? Like, oh, you're supposed to have read 3 chapters of this already. Y'all see that? And that's a lot of y'all in here. It would be like, you know, life situations come up and the elders trying to tell you, hey, this is gonna happen. You're gonna have to be like this and like this and like that. And you're like, what? Why? Because you don't understand that elder is teaching you from the book of life.
From his experiences.
Right? So not studied. What's another reason we don't add we can't add to the discourse? We can't add to what's being talked about.
Because when you should have been in past time, when you should have been quiet, listening and absorbing the wisdom, your mind was somewhere else.
Right. You went through every step of how to miss the discourse of the elders, right? When you were in the time you were supposed to be learning, right? Mm-hmm. At the time you should be teachers, you have neither one teach you again. Because you missed it. You was in your pride, you was in your feelings, you was already making up an excuse why you can't. You was already making up a rebuttal to go against what they were saying before they even got it out.
You already had an excuse not to even be around.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, it's the Sabbath, Doc.
Right.
My kids. My kids.
Right.
That food dishes.
Yeah. I got other things to do. I'm tired. I'm this. I'm that. Okay. Well, you missed the discourse. See that? So you're not around to be around. You're not around the people that do the discoursing. So why can't I add to now? I can't add to because I've not been around these people. I don't know when it's the right time to jump in. I'm the I got a bear trap chick. You know what I mean? Like wrong time, wrong damn topic of conversation. Just all wrong. Everything just wrong. Wrong tone, wrong everything. Right? It's like nobody, you know. I watched that video way back where Kesha did that. Man, I always bring that up. But this singer Kesha, I don't know if y'all familiar with her, but she's kind of like a burnout, one-hit wonder, gone now. But she's in the minivan with her friends.
Oh yeah.
And just out of nowhere, she's like, "Who dares me to drink my own pee?" And none of them were talking about that. They all just looked at her like, and she didn't even pick up and register that they're looking at me like I have AIDS and a boil in the middle of my face that's gonna pop, right? Like they're all just like, and the whole van got quiet and everything. I'm pretty sure the radio even cut itself off. Like, what are you talking about? Right? You can literally in the silence see the words, the letters WTF just appear, right? But like, nobody said that, and then she's like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna do it." She grabs the pitcher and proceeds to pee in this pitcher, and then they're still looking at her with the same shirt. Nobody said anything the whole time. Like they're just with this face, like, "Why?" And then she starts doing it. You can tell her whole entourage is only with her for the money, because they're just looking at her like, "Well, I bet you I'll do it." And like,
you do that.
No, we don't need you to do that. She drinks her own pee in front of her friends, man.
They're like, Right, don't do it, but if you do, we ain't gonna stop you.
Yeah, but why? Because I'm socially awkward. I'm socially inept. I don't know how to hang around people. I don't be around people.
I'm a invert. I'm a
Introvert. Yeah.
Introvert. Yeah. Everything. I'm about me.
Y'all see that?
God.
So I'm not adept at being around people. I'm not adept at being around elders. So now, this is why I don't have anything to say. I can't add to. I can't commend the wise word because I didn't know it was wise. Y'all see that?
Come on.
When I heard it, I was just like, okay, I'll wait till everybody else. Con! Right? Okay, that's what I'm supposed to say con to. I got it. Right? Yay, me. I said it all the time. Right? It's like when you see, you always know the woman that shouldn't be at the football game, that's just there because her husband made her go. She's the last one in the wave. Everybody does the wave around the stadium. She the only one standing up with her hands up. Right? She the only one clapping when it's like the other team made the touchdown, dummy.
Right.
Yeah! Like, this ain't the time. Right? Like, what's wrong with you? You don't know sports? Oh, I just thought we just clap when everybody does that. Y'all see that? Why? Because she hasn't been to the game. She don't follow this. This ain't what her life is about. If you don't make this about your life, if you don't make this what your life is about, you're not going to understand the discourse. You're not going to be able to commend the wise word. You're not going to be able to add to it. You understand?
No.
It's going to be a body and seats.
Right.
And that's not what we want.
That's why it says this. Read on. Who had it?
Ecclesiastes 21:15.
Yeah, don't sit down when you got it, man. Read on.
Who got it?
But as soon as one of no understanding heareth it, it displeaseth him.
See, it displeases them. That ain't funny. That ain't wide. That ain't witty. That's boring. Why? Because I don't have no understanding. I didn't get it.
I didn't study. I didn't stick around long enough.
Right. Go ahead.
And he casteth it behind his back.
He does what?
Casteth it behind his back.
So this is a way we miss the discourse of the elders. I don't understand. I don't get that.
Like when they say take it with a grain of salt.
Right.
Just, what do you do with salt? You toss it over your shoulder. Let's take that with a grain of salt. You toss it behind you.
There you go.
Now it's useless. From there, go to you know what that?
Well,
go to Ecclesiastes 6 and 18.
Ecclesiastes chapter 6 verse 18.
So they lack understanding. We understand that because there's no study. They're not putting themselves in the mix of things. They're not getting around the ones they're not wearing out the footsteps of the elders. You wear out the footsteps. Read that. Ecclesiastes said,
my son, gather instruction.
You're supposed to do what?
Gather instruction.
So my son, my daughter, gather instruction. Who does the instruction come from? Class. Go ahead.
From thy youth up.
Yeah. Train up a child the way you will have him, and he will not depart. So you're supposed to be gathering instruction from your youth. That way you can't use, he's just young. He's just young and dumb. That can't be used on you. See, that's not an excuse being young and lacking understanding or lacking wisdom or you do things because you're young. The Bible says gather instruction. Instruction is the method on how to do things. It's the way on how to do things correctly. So it's telling you, gather that know-how, that experience from thy youth up. Go ahead.
So shalt thou find wisdom.
You're going to find what?
Wisdom.
Go ahead.
Till thine old age.
Right. You'll be able to use this until your old age. You'll be able to carry the instruction, and then you'll be able to give answer. Now you'll be considered an elder. From there, jump to verse, going right along with that 21 and 15, go to verse 20.
Verse 20. She is very unpleasant to the unlearned.
She's what?
Very unpleasant to the unlearned.
Yeah, it's like, man, I don't want to do this. Why we got to do it like that? Listen, brother. I need you to set these tables up. We're gonna put them on this side of the room because we got some things going on over here. Why we gotta do it that way? Because you didn't learn the method on how to do things. You didn't learn that brother that's instructing you that this is the way he does things, or this is the way it's been done and it works. See, a lot of us judge prematurely. We judge things prematurely, especially when it comes to when you're in the body of, when you're in the midst of something, the body of something, and it's been around before you got here. A lot of us wonder why things happen the way they happen. You know why they happen currently the way they're happening? Because the old ways were tried and they didn't work. Y'all understand that?
Done.
There was ways that were tried that didn't work, so now it's like we gotta evolve our thinking, evolve our ways of doing things. So the current way now is what works. It may stop working, and your way might be right, but currently, the way it's going is the way it works. What's that?
Or the current way that it's going may be improved upon. Like the adding to the
wisdom. Adding to it, right. But see, the unlearned, that unskillful man, he just looks at why it's not being done a certain way and then he just disregards it when it's told to him to do it. He doesn't want to add on. He doesn't want to take the time to understand, like, damn, brother's been here doing it. They know the method because they're actually doing what they're telling me to do. They're actually teaching their wives and been in long relationship with their wives and took the time to teach them and raise their children. And it's like, brother, this is how we did it. Do it like that. No, I don't want to do that. Your way, nah. I need to do it the fast way.
Done.
I need to get mine now. 6 months? Nah, I ain't doing that. Hell nah. 6 month rule, what's that? No. With you end up with problems. You end up with the strife.
A multitude of
unprofitable children. Multitude of unprofitable thoughts. You end up with a lot of baggage. You end up with a lot of hurt. You end up with a lot of bad experience. Where it could have just been avoided if you would have just been like, come on, let me try that, and then went and did it. Let me fight my lust. Let me fight my own thoughts. Let me take low. Let me humble myself. That's what it's really about. A person don't want to be humble. They don't want to take low. They want to be right. We hate being wrong, man. As humans, we hate being right. Listen, even me, I hate being wrong. I always want to be right, but then I got to think back and be like, damn, that wasn't right. Brother's right. Let me humble down. Even with our ribs, man. Even brothers with their wives. Not saying she's going to rule over you, but there's times where she might be right. She might present something and you're like, in your pride and in your manliness, dun, 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 in your rulership in your home, you're like, I can't be wrong. In your rulership, in your kingdomship, in your kingdom, right? Because your home is your kingdom, right? You're like, man, I ain't wrong. But then guess what? You sitting back and you pondering on what happened. You're like, damn, she got a point. You got to take low. A lot of us don't want to do that. A lot of us don't want to take that humble route. And that's where a lot of problems stir up. Read where you at. Read verse 20.
Verse 20. From the top. She is very unpleasant to the unlearned.
Yeah. Instruction is unpleasant to the unlearned. Wisdom is unpleasant to the unlearned. Go ahead.
He that is without understanding will not remain with her.
Yeah. You're not going to remain doing things the way they're supposed to be done. You're not going to remain taking instruction from anything that's wise. You're not going to remain. You're going to be like, man, screw it. I'm going to do it my way. I don't get the way you're wanting me to do things. I don't get it. I'm not going to take the time to get it. So guess what? I'm going to do me. I'm going to do it the way I like. I'm going to do what's pleasing to me. I'm going to be sensual with it. Right? I'm going to get into my emotions. That's for brothers and sisters. Emotional, man, emotional bag of bones. He was emotional as hell. Listen, the way you did that, man, the way you said that to that brother, it was a little harsh. So next time, but brother, no, that brother was off. And but all I was saying is that you almost offended the brother. But nah, brother, I don't care. Well, bro, all I'm saying is what you said was right, but the way you said it, you got to take time to understand even what a man is saying. We don't do that. Read on.
Verse 21. She will lie upon him as a mighty stone of trial.
Yeah, the mighty stone of trial, these mighty trials and errors. All of a sudden, your experiences that you go through are just garbage, and they're full of trials and tribulation because you didn't take the time to get that instruction on how to do things correctly. And even when you were given that time and given that instruction, you didn't take heed to it. You didn't hearken diligently, like the Most High says. You didn't hearken diligently. You didn't take the time to bow your ear. You didn't take the time to let wisdom and understanding take hold. Instead, your pride, your hate, your envy, your lust, your maliciousness, you trying to figure out what's going on with this bro or this sis, you looking at the person that's giving you the instruction like, yeah, you off too. You didn't do it right. Instead of doing that or doing that, that's where you miss. That's where these trials and tribulations pop up. What verse you at?
Verse 21, second precept. And he will cast her from him ere it be long.
From there, go to Proverbs chapter 8. I mean, listen. If it's 8:30, y'all could actually read down. This whole thing applies all the way to verse 33. All the way to verse 35. Actually, we were there. No? Jump to verse 33 real quick. We can knock that out.
Verse 33.
Go ahead.
If thou love to hear.
Wait, what do you got to do?
If thou love to
you
hear.
You want this talk?
Love to hear.
Just thinking random thoughts in your head.
Love to hear.
Come up with excuses.
Love to hear.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt receive understanding.
See, now you're going to receive the understanding that it takes for you to implement the instructions given. You're going to receive the understanding on why the brother said do it like this, or why your husband is doing it like this, or why he said that, or why he didn't say that. If you love to hear. A lot of us don't love to hear. We love to talk. We love to think. We love to think out loud. We love to, I was thinking to myself. Did you hear me? Nah, I was just thinking. Nah, bro, that was a time for you to listen, to stop, shut your brain down and listen. Go ahead.
And if thou bow thine ear.
You're supposed to do what?
Bow thine ear.
Open your mouth.
Bow thine ear.
Pop your neck all around like you just haughty and don't give a damn.
Bow thine ear.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt be wise.
Yeah, you're supposed to bow your ear. You're supposed to be ready to listen. Love to hear. Bow down your ear. Take the low. Take humble. Go ahead.
Verse 34. Stand in the multitude of the elders.
Stand to yourself?
Stand in the multitude of the elders.
I don't like being around people, so I'm going to sit in the house and watch Netflix.
Stand in the multitude of the elders.
This is where you get your instruction. You're supposed to stand in the multitude of the elders. Go ahead.
And cleave unto him that is wise.
You see that? Cleave unto him that is wise. Hold unto him that is wise. Read.
Be willing to hear every godly discourse.
Yeah, see, a lot of us, we be willing to hear stuff, but it ain't that godly discourse. We want to hear, I want to hear some trap beats. That's what I want to hear what Lil Yachty is talking about, Lil Uzi Stitch and 21, 22, 23 Savage. How many Savages you need? God damn. Like 8 different savage rappers. I want to hear what this man's rapping about and this man's rapping about. You need to hear that audio Bible. That's what we need to be hearing. We need to be hearing these parables and not just listening like, oh, I heard you. But actually listening. actively listening to what's being said. That godly discourse. Go ahead.
And let not the parables of understanding escape thee.
I feel like we read that already. Did we?
Lot, but it echoes another.
Okay, yeah, okay. I'm like, did we just read that? But you see, it's saying it again. There's a reason why it says it more than once, because it's important. It's trying to tell you, shut the hell up, listen, do things the way they're supposed to be done. Go to Proverbs 8:33. Y'all with me so far?
Gone.
What are y'all understanding? I want a sister to answer. Sisters, what are y'all understanding so far?
You want to stay in the midst of the elders.
Right? Because you're going to learn. What else?
You need to listen and understand and obey.
Right? And I'm not saying like be some for the sisters, I'm not saying like you're just
like a machine,
a deaf, dumb mute.
Right.
But there has to be a method on, because you know a lot of problems stem from the whys. You know, you got those 5: the who, what, where, when, why, and how. Right? A lot of problems stem from why. Why'd you do like that? Why'd you say that? And it's like if you just take time to listen, you'll understand why. If you take time to hear the conclusion of the matter, you'll understand why. But a lot of us don't hear the conclusion. It's like a brother opens his mouth and then you just start talking, and then you're like, damn, you didn't let me finish. This wasn't even a check. I was trying to give you some kudos. But as soon as I opened my mouth, you were ready to rebuttal, so you didn't even understand what was going on. You took things the wrong way. That's where a lot of strifes and contentions come. Because things are taken the wrong way, taken out of context. Because the time to listen, the time to recognize who's in front of you. You've been with this man 5-10 years. Sleep in the same bed over and over, and he's trying to give you some instruction you don't want to hear it. All of a sudden he's off and wicked. You've been rolling with the same brothers 15 years, teaching you the Bible. And when he's going and correcting your spirit, all of a sudden you too good to hear it. See, we got to understand who's in front of me. Is it some dumb idiot pimp nigga off the street? No. Is my husband some drug dealing pimp? Is he a homosexual? Is he a faggot? Acting like a husband? No. This is a man that totes around the Bible and speaks the good word and tries to live righteous and do things the right way. That's what we're supposed to be seeing. Who's in front of me? Who's giving the discourse? Is he a wise man or is he a damn idiot? The things that come out of his mouth, do they breathe life or are they bringing me to my death? These are the things that we got to ask ourselves when we're in the midst of that correction, or when that instruction is being given. What am I being instructed to do? Is it for my own? Is it for my damnation? Is it going to be to hurt my soul, or is it just to get a job done? Sometimes it'd be like, man, go do that because I can't do it. A brother sitting there editing the videos, and he got 10, 15 videos backed up. It's like, babe, you make me a sandwich? Why I gotta do that for? Because I'm sitting here busy as hell editing videos for the school so brothers and sisters can get taught? That's why. Because I know if I get up, I'm going to be distracted with this and that, so I got to stay grounded in what I'm doing. That's why. Because your ass ain't doing nothing, so that's what I want you to do. Sometimes it's as simple as that. Because you ain't doing nothing. It can be that. Because I said so. That's a reason also, sisters, brothers. That's a reason also, because I said so. If it ain't nothing wicked, we got to understand. That's why I said we got to look at who's in front of us. We got to look at what's being told, how it's being told, what it's for. Read where you at.
Proverbs chapter 8, verse 33.
Go ahead.
Hear instruction.
Do what?
Hear instruction.
I love to hear. You got to hear the instructions before you can refute them and go against them. How can you go against something you didn't hear? You didn't hear all the instructions, but you're like, nah, I can't do that. That ain't in my spirit. It's just like people at the mall. It's like, hey, man, hey, come check me out. Nah, I'm good. I could have been handing your ass a lotto ticket. I could have been handing you I could have been handing you free coupons for whatever. But it's like, hey, come check me out. Instead of saying, oh, check what out? You like, no, I'm good. That's what brothers do to brothers. That's what brothers do to brothers. Sisters do to their husbands. We do it to each other. It's like, nah, I'm good. I don't need to hear that. But then he's spitting wisdom and breaking down your problem to a T. But you're like, nah, I don't want to hear that. You already shut your mind off. Read it again.
Hear instruction.
Go ahead.
And be wise.
And be what?
Wise.
Go ahead.
And refuse it not.
Yeah, because if you refuse it, you're not going to be wise. Go ahead.
Blessed is the man that heareth me.
How are you blessed?
Is the man that heareth me.
Yeah, you're blessed because you're blessed when you hear. This is where the blessings come. When you hear the instruction. Go ahead.
Watching daily at my gate.
He does what?
Watching daily at my gate.
Watching TV all day.
Watching daily at my gates.
Yeah, you're watching daily at the gates of the elders. Go ahead.
Waiting at the post of my doors.
You're wearing out that footsteps of those elders. You sisters, you're wearing out the footsteps of your husband. Asking questions. Trying to figure out the parables. Trying to figure out why he does things the way he does them. Not in a usurping authority type of way, like, nigga, why you do it like that? But babe, what was your thinking behind that? Oh, well, you know, I did it like that because da-da-da-da. Oh, okay. Damn, that was dope. Yeah. Not trying to, like, question his authority, but more like just trying to get a grasp of that person. You know, a lot of us been when I heard, listen, man, it's crazy. You got to look at, and just dealing in this camp. A lot of us been with our wives for multiple years. You got what, 10 years? 12? I got 12. What you got? She watching out a lot? Yeah. But, you know, even in all that time, think about the people in the world that been in relationships that long and still don't even know the person that they're with. Still don't understand the method behind the madness. Because they don't take the time to hear. They don't take the time to ask. Some of them don't even give a damn. They're just like, I'm with him, I love him, and that's it. It's like, but what about finding out more? Getting deep. Going past the surface. You're only scratching the surface. Read on.
Verse 35.
Uh-huh.
For whoso findeth me findeth life.
You find instruction, you find life. This is how you get life. When you find and do the proper instruction, this is where that life comes. Because now you don't have to go through the trials and tribulation. The bad trials and the bad tribulation. There's always going to be trial and error no matter what. Because even if you're given good wisdom and you do it and it works, something else might pop up. But you're going to find life. You're going to find the way to live life correctly. And do the things that aren't going to harm you. Read on.
And shall obtain favor of the Lord.
Go ahead.
But he that sinneth against me wrongeth.
Yeah, he that don't take the instruction, he that despises instruction, he does what?
Wrongeth his own soul.
Yeah, you're hurting yourself, man. You're hurting yourself. That's what we got to understand. But at the same time, if you got children, if people depend on you, you're also hurting them too. You're hurting anything around you. You're hurting your husband. Brothers, you're hurting the body. For people in TV land, it's the same thing. You got a job and you're not doing things the way it's supposed to be done, you're hurting the people you work for. Read on.
All they that hate me love death.
They do what?
All they that hate me love death.
Yeah, you hate that. You hate to be instructed. You're a lover of death, man. You hate when a brother tells you something. You despise the discourse. You might as well just go hang yourself. You love being acquainted with that death. Brother, put down the weed. Put down the weed. Yeah, I just can't stop smoking blunts, bro. You trying to acquaint yourself with death. What's up?
It's even also like with I was thinking, like with the law.
Mm-hmm.
Like people's like, well, why do I gotta do it like this? Why I have to do that?
Right.
How come I have to do it like this instead of listening to it, obeying what it says to do, and and gain the understanding from doing it.
Right, because that's how it is. But that's how our people were. It's like, why eating pork? What the hell? Why I gotta love my neighbor as myself? Like, why?
I don't like talking.
I don't like being around that nigga. Oh man, these sisters, man, I don't like being around chicks. Chicks are too catty. I like being around dudes. I just like being by myself. I don't feel like dealing with nobody else's problems. I got my own problems. But in doing it, then you gain that understanding, like you said. And then you're supposed to gain that love for doing it and doing for your brother, your sister, your nation. But a lot of us don't give ourselves that chance because we're steady just throwing the instruction out the window. We're throwing the instruction manual out the window. You know what we're really doing? It goes in one ear, out the other. Or we just take the instruction manual, leave it in our bag. I'll pull it out when I come to the next class. Your Bible comes out only Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And when you can make it on Sabbath. Even if you can make it on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Some of us do that, man. The instruction manual don't come out for daily things. It needs to be out daily to instruct you daily. You go through things daily. Why not be instructed daily? But see, what you're trying to do, and I think some of us do it unknowingly, you're pulling death closer and closer to you. You may not love death. You may not tell yourself like, that's the time I love death. Nah, I don't. But guess what? You're pulling that death closer and closer to you. Because you're not finding ways to instruct yourself out of the perils of death.
You definitely love sin. And we know what the wages of sin is.
Death. So you might love death. There it is. So we got to see the things that we do to ourselves unknowingly. When we knowingly despise the discourse of the elders, when we knowingly just throw wise instruction out the door, when we don't want to receive instruction, we unknowingly bring death to our door. Man, you got to put down them cigarettes, man. You shouldn't be selling cigarettes to your people. Nah, I got to sell these Lucy's because next thing you know, you choked out in Staten Island. Brother in Baton Rouge, same thing, selling cigarettes and Lucy's. Next thing you shot up by the cops. Sandra Bland. Should have put your damn cigarette out and shut the hell up. Receive instruction. Next thing you know, you choked up in a police station. I just watched one the other day of this lady. Her and her son they were in Cali. I think they were going to the beach. And she said they stopped to get cigarettes. I'm like, there it goes. He stopped to get cigarettes, happened to be he got on a red shirt, some red chucks. He in Crippland. They told him to take the shoes off. He's like, hell no. Walked out, they shot his ass. All behind, but what did it stem from? Them cigarettes. Our people that's why the law tells you don't defile your temple. Right? But it's like, why? What? Cigarettes? Ain't nothing wrong. But yeah, this is why. Because you niggas is getting shot behind it. People are dying behind it. You bringing that death to you. You're bringing that spirit closer and closer. Read where you at.
That was in 36.
That was the end of what?
36, verse 36.
The end of 36. From there, jump to go to Proverbs 10 and 17. Actually, go to Proverbs 15 and 31.
Proverbs chapter 15, verse 31.
Right?
The ear that heareth the reproof of life.
See, the ear that heareth. You see the theme here. You got to hear. We all got ears, but the ear that heareth, the ear that's trying to understand. Go ahead. The reproof of life.
Among the wise.
The reproof of life. That instruction.
Abideth among the wise.
He does what?
Abideth among the wise.
Yeah, he's going to want to be around the wise. Because he's going to want to be reproved. A person that don't want to be reproved, they're going to be hiding in their house, trying to duck and dodge brothers, trying to duck. You hit up such and such today? No, I didn't hit her up. But did you hit up the other sister, the brand new sister? Yeah, I hit her up. Why? Because that elder sister He's going to check on you and instruct you. How come you did this? How come you did that? Sisters do that, man. They don't want to hit up the sisters that been here, but they'll hit up all the young sisters. They make sure they get the phone numbers of the young sisters coming in. Oh, I was talking to such and such. What were y'all talking about? Nothing. You got all these text messages and you ain't talking about a damn thing? What are you talking about? Why don't you hit up a sister that's going to actually talk to you? Because they don't want to get that reproof. They don't want to get that instruction. Read on.
Verse 32. He that refuseth instruction despiseth his own soul.
You see that? You despise your soul. You refuse instruction, you're despising your soul. You don't care about your well-being. The Bible says a prudent man looks well to his going. You're not looking well to the way you're going, man. Go ahead.
But he that heareth reproof getteth understanding.
Yeah, but if you hear that reproof, you're going to get understanding. You're going to understand that brother, that situation. You're going to understand how to do things better for the next time. You're going to understand, okay, this is how you do it. Now guess what? I can teach the next man. I can teach my kids. I can teach the next sister that comes in how to do things the right way. Sister rolls in, she's in the back yelling and screaming out. Brothers are trying to teach. Because when you came in, you did the same thing. Now you know how to, and the sister went to you and nicely and meekly said, sis, when you're in class, we just ask that you raise your hand. So when the next sister that comes in does it, now you know how to go to her. Sis, we just ask that you raise your hand. You got a question, you could ask, but just raise your hand. Same thing with brothers. Brothers come in here, pants sagging, just yelling and screaming. Yelling out answers, yelling out questions. A brother went to them and did what? Listen, we don't mind if you ask questions. We just do things in order. Raise your hand. Now when you see a brother do it, you know how to go to him. You have the instructions on how to do it. So you don't offend them, so you don't make them mad, so you don't start a fight. Y'all understand?
Come on.
Read where you at.
But he that heareth reproof getteth understanding.
From there, go to Proverbs. Damn. Go to Proverbs 6 and 23.
Proverbs chapter 6.
Actually, Proverbs 5 and 10.
Proverbs chapter 5
and verse 10.
And verse 10.
Killing y'all with this Proverbs, man. Y'all gotta get acquainted with these Proverbs.
Proverbs chapter 5 verse 10.
Read that.
Lest strangers be filled with thy wealth.
Go ahead.
And thy labor be in the house of strangers.
Why do you think I pulled this? When we read down, it's going to tell us, but why would a stranger be filled with your wealth? Y'all know what that means?
Yeah, they got what you should have been getting.
Right. Why?
Because you weren't listening and learning how to do things and how to take care of things. You didn't listen to the elders.
Right.
So where you should be, someone else is there and having it.
Someone that passed you up because the things the elders were teaching you, you didn't hear it. They were ear hustling. They picked it up and they were like, "Oh, I'm gonna use that."
Yeah, I look at my son, man. I gave him one of the pages of the soldier's test.
Okay. Oh damn. He might be a soldier.
5 minutes later, this dude's like belting off the 18 nations, belting off the 12 tribes in their meetings. I'm like, wow, bro.
He gonna be an officer.
There's brothers that I've literally give this to and have thrown it in the gutter, have lost it, have been in the truth for years and years, and they still ain't got this page.
You got 15-year vets in the truth that ain't got the first page of the soldier's test down, huh?
They want to get 3 ribs.
And I need a rib for this, a rib for this, a rib for this. I need to get this vehicle, this bike. I need to hit the lanes over here. I need to do this. But you ain't got the 18 nations.
And my 9-year-old son memorized the page in 5 minutes. I was tripping, man, but that's what it said. A stranger's going to inherit your wealth, man.
Right.
You going to be sitting there
Some brothers gonna be sitting there doing push-ups for my 9-year-old son.
Yeah.
40-year-old brother.
Like, man, I was there when you was born. I ain't doing no push-ups for you.
That's what it's talking about. You gonna come in and be ordering brothers around. Y'all drop. Y'all late, drop.
That's how we end up in the condition we were at now.
Right.
That's why Esau is teaching us the scriptures out in the streets now. That's why they teaching in the churches. That's why these other nations is teaching the Bible and everything like that. Why? Because we left off when we heard it. We didn't want to hear the prophets. We didn't want to hear Christ. We didn't want to hear the Most High. So what do? Okay, I'm going to give it to the strange nation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to see what your end shall be. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give it to them. And watch them run with it. Oh, look, they inherited your wealth. They walking in your blessing.
Now they signing $110 million church deals. I know y'all seen that. They signing deals like they playing sports with these churches. Wow. This dude signed on to what's the church over here? Lakewood. He came from like South Carolina or something like that. This dude signed $110 million for 6 years. I'm like, is he playing ball? Like, what the hell is going on here? Bruh. They said that's the richest deal for any pastor or whatever the case may be. $110 million for 6 years to go live. He took the treasures that we had and using them for wicked.
Yeah, and they running with it.
And they running. Benny Hinn just giving Yukins and power Dukins with.
Right,
come on, man.
The code of destiny.
Yeah. He over there doing Tekken moves and using the Bible and getting rich. Because we didn't want to follow, we didn't want to hearken diligently to what the Most High gave us. He gave us the instruction manual. Psalms 147, 19 and 20, right? He showed this word to Jacob. His statutes and commandments unto Israel. He has not dealt so with any other nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known them. They weren't given the power to judge. They weren't given the power to heal. They weren't given any of these to teach. But see, that's what it's talking about. A stranger's going to inherit your labors because we didn't want to keep the instruction. Read on.
Verse 11.
Uh-huh.
And thou mourn at the last.
Yeah, you're going to be in mourning. You're going to be in that death. That's why the scriptures say, Judah mourneth. The gates thereof languish.
Right, when Becky with the good hair got your man.
Yeah.
Because you want to be loud, and you want to talk back, and you didn't want to be the person that received instruction.
Oh,
damn, you were her.
Damn. Don't do that.
Right? Brothers always want to get mad. You know, I see it all over Facebook. They see a white man up there holding posts, holding the signs.
Yeah.
He dropping scriptures.
What you let the Edomite up there?
Yeah, nigga, where are you? On Facebook?
Right. Why you ain't out there teaching, holding posts?
Now you mad?
But see, you didn't want to follow the. But that's the thing. Those are them same cats. It's like, I don't need a camera.
Right. Exactly.
I don't need a teacher. I taught myself. Like, nigga, what'd you teach yourself? To type? What'd you teach yourself? You got 2 scriptures to barely rub together. They're not even precepts. And you want to criticize somebody that's actually doing work and putting it in for the Most High? I'm not saying that we're going to be putting up Esau to go teach. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. I'm not telling you to run to the nearest Edomite, grab him, and throw a mic in his hand. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is this. If you ain't doing a damn thing, don't criticize a man that is. Because you didn't want to follow the instruction. Because you didn't want to humble down. Because you didn't want to hear, listen, we're going to go out here. It's hot as hell. You're going to sweat. You're going to throw this shirt on with these fringes. You're going to study. Right? You're going to show up to class. You're going to pass out flyers. You're going to deal with your rib accordingly. You're going to raise your children. You're going to be respectful to brothers. You're going to be respectful to sisters. You're going to be an example. You didn't want to hear that. But the next man was like, damn, be an example? Respect? Oh, I could do that. Deal with my wife as the weaker vessel according to my, oh yeah, I got that. Oh, show up to class, be diligent, be faithful. Oh, I'm going to do that. Next thing you know, he's out there doing what you should have been doing. Well, you sitting there jealous as hell. You in mourning, like, damn. Read on.
When thy flesh and thy body are consumed.
Yeah, now you dying, man. Like I said, you love death, right? So now your flesh and your body is being consumed away. Because you just sitting in the house like a damn couch potato, rotting away with bed sores. Because all you do, you hop up, check your Facebook, type a bunch of crap, lay on your back, watch Netflix while everybody else is out there putting in work. You consuming away. Your spirit is consuming away.
Or you got with the wrong chick. Now you got that package. Your body consuming away. Right, because you didn't want to listen. Hey, get to know her.
Yeah.
Don't just hop bed to bed. Get to know
Get
this
to know
one.
that. Get to know her.
Y'all see that?
Come on.
Use the instruction that brothers already used.
Right.
Use that guidance. Use it for your benefit. Now damn, I got this package. And it didn't come from UPS. I don't even want to unwrap this package. You know what I'm saying? It's terrible. Read on.
And say, how have I hated instruction?
You did what?
Hated instruction.
Yeah, you hated instruction. Damn, it's 9 o'clock. What the? I gotta get like 2 more. I gotta get these last 2 in there.
Yeah, go.
It's because you hated instruction. Read.
And my heart despiseth reproof.
Yeah, your heart, your mind despise the reproof from the elders. You despise that correction. You're like, man, why the hell is this nigga telling me anything? He ain't Christ. You ain't Jesus. Yeah, we know that. But we got experience that affords us to lead about a house, to lead about a family, to show you where you're off at. The Most High ordained it. Cry aloud, spare not. Show my people their transgressions. From there, jump to, go to Proverbs 12:1.
Proverbs chapter 12, verse 1.
Go ahead.
Whoso loveth instruction, loveth knowledge.
You see that? You love knowledge. Go ahead.
But he that hateth reproof,
Go ahead.
is brutish.
He's what?
Brutish.
You're a brute. You're like a brute beast. Because you hate instruction. You hate being told what to do. Think about it. Animals hate being caged up, right? You ever see that pit bull? The dog catcher tries to come and catch him, and he's just going crazy. He don't want to be locked up. He don't want to be tamed. You're like that brute dog. Somebody look up the word brutish. Actually, I'll give it to you. I'm going to give you what I got. It says brutish, strongly and grossly sensual. So you emotional as hell. You're an emotional brute beast. That's what you become. I'm not saying that's what y'all are, but the person that despises instruction, that's what they become. Next thing you know, you fighting your husband, trying to beat him up. He telling you to do something. All of a sudden, you want to buck up on him. That's what a brute does. You like that brute dog that'll just run up on anything and try to attack because of your emotion, because you refuse to hear that instruction. It says grossly sensual, brutish, gluttony. It says showing little intelligence or sensibility. Go to James 3:13. Y'all got that definition? No. I'm just saying, y'all got what I gave y'all?
Oh, come on.
Y'all got it?
Come on.
Go to James 3:13.
James chapter 3, verse 13.
Go ahead.
Who is a wise man and endued with knowledge among you?
Who is a wise man and endowed with knowledge among you? This is a question. Who is it? Wouldn't it be an elder? A man of experience?
Gone.
Right?
Gone.
Wouldn't it be a person that's actually taking the instruction and using it? Wouldn't he be considered wise?
Gone.
So it's a question. Who around you is endued with knowledge? It's those men. But the person that hate knowledge, he like, nah, I ain't doing that. I'm going to be a fool. I'm going to be a brute. Read.
Let him show out of a good conversation his works.
Yeah, he's going to show it out of a good conversation and his works. His fruit. You'll see it from his fruit. A good tree bear good fruit. A good tree can't bear bad fruit. So you're going to see it out of his conversation, his discourse, his wise discourse, his godly discourse, his parables are going to be on point. Right? Read on.
His words with meekness of wisdom.
He's going to be meek and humble. He's going to know how to deal with people. See, this is a man that has that's endued with wisdom. He's endued with it, and he knows how to give instruction and receive them. But a person that doesn't know, go ahead.
But if you have bitter envying,
see, the bitter envying, go ahead.
And strife,
go ahead.
In your hearts.
You know why it's in your heart? Because your mind refused instruction. Your mind refused to hearken diligently to what a man of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding was trying to instruct you in. Go ahead.
Glory not and lie not against the truth.
Yeah. Don't glory in it. And don't say that, oh, it's because of the truth why I'm like this. It's because of that man why I'm like this. You're making me into this. It's too hard. I don't get it. I don't understand it, so it has to be the Bible that's throwing me off. It has to be that brother that's throwing me off. Don't lie against the truth. Go ahead.
This wisdom descendeth not from above.
Yeah, this wisdom is not godly wisdom. It don't come from above. The wisdom of I'm not going to take instruction from a wise man, that's not godly. Where does it come from? Go ahead.
But it's earthly.
It's what?
Earthly.
Yeah. This is that wisdom of the world, man. That tells you you don't need a man. You can do things that do as thou wilt. Right? Do as thou wilt. Do what you want. Get it how you live. Get rich or die trying. What the hell does get it how you live mean? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sensual.
It's what?
Sensual.
It's brutish. You're like a brute dog. One more. Go to Jude. Go to Jude 1 and 17. 1 and 17. You're going to take it to 19. Damn. Nah, that's not bad. I got through all of it. Actually, well, not all of it. Most of it. Go to Jude 1 and 19.
Jude chapter
1 and 17.
Jude chapter 1 verse 17.
1 and 16.
Verse 16.
Uh-huh.
These are murmurers, complainers, walking after their own lusts.
Yeah, a person that doesn't want to receive instruction, that's what they're doing. You're murmuring under your breath. You're complaining why you got to do something because you want to chase your own lusts. Because you feel you got something else better to do. Go ahead.
And their mouth speaketh great swelling words.
Yeah. Your mouth is just swelled up with talk, man. Go ahead.
Having men's persons in admiration because of advantage.
Yeah, it's like, oh, well, I won't told me to do that, but I ain't going to do that because I ain't trying to listen to him. But I know if I do it because Kazaki tells me, he going to look at me a certain way. He might promote me. He might give me some rank. Or, man, my husband, I don't got to listen to him. But when I'm at work, I listen to my boss because they pay me. You see that? You got men's admiration in mind. Go ahead.
But beloved, remember ye the words which were spoken before of the apostles of our Lord Christ.
Right. The words that were spoken of the apostles. What did they do? Drop your fisher. You want to be a fisherman? They were fishers, right? He said, drop everything you're doing. I'll make you fishers of men. Christ instructed them. And what did they do? They dropped what they were doing and they followed Christ. Go ahead.
How that they told you there should be mockers in the last time.
Go ahead.
Who should walk after their own ungodly lusts.
And this is the problem, man, with these people that don't want to receive instruction. You're walking after your own godly lusts. You're walking after the things that you want to do. You mock the truth. You sitting at home on your keyboard calling brothers Power Rangers because they got on their garments, or why they got that type of brother up on the podium holding posts. You mocking. Go ahead.
These be they who separate.
What do they do?
Separate.
Yeah, you in a dark room in the catacombs, keyboard sticky, right? You separate yourself. Sister at home, she just at home just to herself. What you do all day? Nothing. Who you talk to? No one. Not even the kids? Damn. They separate themselves. Why? Go ahead.
Sensual.
Because they're sensual. You're about your emotions and your feelings and how you feel and how you want to do it and how you have to get it. Go ahead.
Having not the Spirit.
Yeah, and there's no spirit. The Spirit of the Most High is not behind that. So we got to be careful, man, that, you know, whenever instruction is being given, whenever wise parables are being tossed out there, we want to make sure that we're around for that. We want to make sure that we don't miss the discourse. You don't want things to go over your head to the point where now you don't understand what's going on in the body. You don't understand what's going on in your own Bible. You don't understand what's going on in your head. We want to make sure we don't fall into this. We don't want to fall into the Jude 1 and 17 down. We don't want to fall into the James 3 and 13. We want to be in Ecclesiastes 8 and 8. That's where we want to be. As grown men, as grown women, as leaders, as elders, as examples. This is where we want to be. But with that, we're going to end it there. Anybody have questions on the topic?
But I know my son, he doesn't want to receive instruction. He find excuses because he feels that the life that he wants to live will be taken away, so he don't want to receive instruction.
Right.
I'm going through the class we have tonight. They're the same.
But that's why it says a sinful man will find an excuse for every occasion.
Yeah, he'll say, "Oh, I'm trying to get myself ready for bed. I'm trying to get my clothes ready to go to bed." You keep saying the same thing.
Right.
Because he think I'm going to be taking away the light that he wants to live.
Right.
And he keeps falling in destruction.
Right. He's bringing that death to him, like what we went through in the scriptures. But see, you know why you understand? Because you're living it. You got the example of this person. So we got to make sure that we don't fall into this, man. We got to make sure that we got to, like I said earlier, we got to make sure we look at who is delivering, what manner of man you have before you. Who are you dealing with? What type of man is it? Has he ever done me wrong or instructed me improperly? We have to look at these things. But anything online?
Yes, and you know what? Keep doing that, because when we go to Ecclesiastes chapter 22, verse 7, it says, "Whoso teacheth a fool is as one that glueth a potsherd together." So it's like you fix something that was broken. You understand? So that's a good thing. And as he that waketh one from a sound sleep. So it's like you're waking him up out of that sound sleep, out of that coma that a lot of our people like to walk around in. So you keep doing what you supposed to do. Now, you know, at a certain point, if he's just going to keep rejecting, or if he start coming against you, okay, then you know what? It's time to. I'm not wasting my time. You know what I mean? But you know, don't give up. You know, just because he ain't listening right now, because it might be that over time he listen. God.
Anything else? You got anything online? Nothing? All right, man, we appreciate y'all joining us. And with that, we're going to say shalom.
Shalom.
We in captivity because they hold us. Work is hard with heavy burdens on our shoulders. Man, I thought we were some soldiers, but every second that I look, we getting creamed like Folgers. You see, the Lord done told us. So to me, there's no surprise on why they fold us. It's not cause our skin is dark and they don't know us.
Imagine upon your eye, rise and face